Welcome to another wonderful session of Stories from the Multiverse. Wait for it! There's actual audio for what they can hear. And
That's
we're back.
incredible.
That easy.
That's so cool.
That easy. Look at that. All right.
Wow.
So you can hear the audio and imagine in your head every time it plays. I linked it in chat to you guys. So, last time, the nameless group of adventurers that survived Tasha's experiment and broke it found themselves inside Rumble, nursing Autumn back to health. They traveled with both Jacques, Autumn, and Bailey into Sunspot, the capital city in the Bonfire Peaks. There, they passed an initiation ritual of sorts and met the leader of the Blaze Syndicate, Ala Blaze, a massive mound of strength and fire. The Fire Ganassi, Ala Blaze, had a little game of red fire, blue fire, and you guys passed it with flying colors, so they gave you a free stay in the local tavern. From there, you guys ended up exploring the city a bit and exploring the locals in the tavern, playing some games, seeing how crazy things get at night in Rumble. Excuse me. And purchasing some potions and getting a feel for the land and what's going on, trying to find work, to find a way home, because everybody's so has to go home immediately. Teleport you halfway across the world and you're ungrateful is all I hear. So, from there, you guys went to sleep without keeping watch, which you'll probably never do again for the rest of the campaign, and you were instantly kidnapped and brought to the top of the peak and threatened to basically stay in line, don't do anything crazy, otherwise they're going to teach you a lesson. Antwerth, having none of that, their intimidation, stood up to them, called their bluffs, and then they kicked everybody off the side of the mountain. But they were all attached to ropes, so it was a fear tactic. And then you guys came back, slept, and discussed a little about your moves going forward with the entirety of the group. And now early in the day, around actually probably noontime, because you guys had to get a full rest in after you were disturbed halfway through the night. So you guys wake up around 1 p.m. in the afternoon to explore whatever your group wants to do next. Is there anything else you guys want to add to that intro? This week I didn't let you tell me what happened last time. Maybe I'll switch that back on next week, but give you a good refresher of everything.
There were some local antics that we got, into. We found a cool store and learned a little bit about some of the work that's done around, and we were specifically questioned about the Obsidian Syndicate. Is that what it's called?
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Definitely not important.
But yeah.
Very good thing to point out. So we will join everybody right now inside the same room that you were with, discussing Autumn, your plan forward with Autumn, Jacques, and Bailey. What would you guys like to do to start this afternoon inside Sunspot?
So it seems we have options. We could stay here and take vengeance against our would-be abductors. We could really make sure that their head is firmly under our boot by the time we leave, because honestly, who wants to be treated like that? It's not very hospitable. We could move on with the plan as we had. We could sign up for some caravan work and just pass right on through. Does anyone have any other options?
I kind of think we should just move along. I think we should just get as far away from here as possible, and we'll have it's angering that people treated us this way. We're a little bit out of our depth, I feel.
I'm with you, Faith, on this. As much of a display I put on last night, no, thank you.
Perhaps we'll visit another time then.
Perhaps. That could be interesting, but I don't think we need to get entangled in whatever the hell that was. We have people we need to get home.
I suppose we should get people home first and then participate in gang wars later.
There's babies with us. We
They're
can't be going into gang wars.
It's fine. It's fine. He's strong.
Early introduction, yeah.
And the wonderful familiar that appears out of Matthias's behind his head. This is a curse he has. It's actually a ghost that does not allow him to sleep. He got this because he's an idiot. I'm kidding. I'm trying to find something better. I was trying to think of something clever and couldn't. Not very clever. Anyway.
I know that somebody mentioned there's that one barkeeper who needs something to go out to a place called the Tempest Peaks. Where are those?
Are we still at the tavern?
Yes, you are. You're still inside there, and Jock, Autumn, and Bailey are still there with you guys as well, just sitting listening. You guys kind of came to a consensus that you were just going to figure out the work. You mentioned potentially looking to trade that potion you had, Anfirth, for a bunch of money, and then potentially use that to send a message or try and buy your way forward out of some transportation of sorts.
Is that barkeeper currently manning the bar, or is it someone else?
You guys are in your room still.
Okay.
You're still in the room, so you can go downstairs and go talk to the barkeep, which I didn't give you a name for the barkeep, right?
I don't believe so.
Terrific. I like it when you guys don't ask for names.
Yeah, Faith, I believe there was some cargo or something that we could unload or whatever it was.
Do you know where the Tempest Peaks are? Is that in the right direction?
Tempest Peaks.
I don't think I see anything in my notes.
Well, let me look.
If you look at the maps that you all have,
That's what I'm doing.
you do have those maps canonically.
Yes.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Tempest
Anfirth
Peaks.
does not have a map.
That's on the other side.
Yeah. You have it as long as you have it on your real person. Otherwise, you lose it in the game.
So, yeah, the Tempest Peaks are on the other side of the other side of Rumble, in the southeast.
Oh, so we're looking to go northeast, really. That's a little out of the way.
Is there maybe another town or something around there that we could maybe utilize, maybe a bit more friendly to us? I'm not familiar with any of these places.
Near which place?
Either nearby here or near the Tempest Peaks.
Hmm.
Kind of feels like, looking at the map, probably the best area to aim for is either Rumble or this place called the Aqua Peak. Dewhurts? I don't know what that means. Those are the closer direction.
Hmm. I mean, Rumble being the capital probably has a lot of, traversing happening.
Yeah, I at least have more faith in Rumble than other places. I've actually been there before.
There you go. So,
We might have a better time as well. It sounded like
100%.
you have a better relationship with the Earth style Genasi.
Yeah.
From what I was overhearing, they kind of control that area.
You are correct. And I could maybe ask an old friend if they'd be willing to help us out and look after us for a little, a day or two.
Perhaps that's our best way forward then.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just completely dissociated for a few minutes. Can you?
Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I would. I think I was
that...
reconciling the few near-death experiences I've had within the past few days. Just all caught up to me all at once.
I get that.
Yeah, I think we all get that actually.
But I'm good now. What did you guys decide?
We were discussing aiming for maybe trying to get over to the capital, Rumble.
Okay.
Because the Earth Genasi are there. It sounds like Sho knows people in that direction, so we might have a better chance of getting a more long-distance transportation that way.
Yes, I actually have some business to take care of as well there, so...
What kind of business?
Nothing nefarious, just...
If it was nefarious, I would be right there with you. You know I got you.
No, passion project. Well, not passion project, but curiosity, which I suppose is a continual passion of mine. So, yeah.
As long as we get to see more of this colorful country, I'm all for it. I'm okay with taking the long way home, though. I'm sure Bailey might have to say otherwise, but honestly, it doesn't matter at this point. Cherry missed her tests.
You could just see this eyes go wide at the mention of it.
Look, I think that myself and Bailey and I believe Faith it was should be able to sort that situation out.
Yeah, hopefully, yes. If things go right, it's hopefully. You see Autumn as she's inside there being around. As she's awake, she goes, I don't know much about Rumble, I'll be honest with you. As she's looking over the maps, it is a land that I've never really traveled outside Gloomhaven. So the faster we get the last star, the better. And I'll do my best to try and support you all. I'm feeling much weaker than normal, but I give it a couple days, and if I can keep getting some animals for the road, I think I'll be just fine.
If we give... how much blood do you need daily?
I mean, ideally, a couple pints, probably around 4 or 5 pints a day is pretty typical. But when blood isn't available, we typically can survive on less than a pint a day.
Okay. If we can't stock up on animals here, Daniel, do you know anything about the local fauna?
Of course.
Make a nature check or history check.
Oh, I'm making a nature check.
Of course, the flowers here are beautiful, Sho.
They're beautiful. 17.
Yeah, the land of Rumble is home to a large amount of domesticated animals. You can find pretty much any of your typical medieval animals in these areas. They've been brought in from, all the different Ganassi families. As there is, what you would find is pigs, cows, horses are all active in this area. You can find chickens, different types of birds. They're not really into cats and dogs as much in this section of the world, with some presence of tabaxi. Typically, tabaxi frown upon seeing cats get eaten. Most frown upon it. a fair amount of them don't give a crap because they see them as like mindless, non-related animals. But you can find also quite a lot of wildlife, I would say, in the terms with the 17, in terms of like a fair amount of the natural fantasy creatures of like elementals inhabit these lands. In yours in particular, you would have found quite a bit of fire elementals right on the edge of the bonfire peaks. And I would say air elementals you would have ran into as well. They kind of border what your forest and your people have. Basically on all the borders, animal-wise, which would be important, even though they're not technically animals. Every border has large populations of just naturally occurring elementals. So that's part of like the border control. It's just elementals typically don't like other elementals. And that can be a way that the land kind of naturally polices itself. Can't eat elementals, they don't bleed. And you really don't know much about the coal fields. Everyone just stays away from them and goes around the coal fields. It's just desert terrain as far as you know. You don't really know anything about the inhabitants there. And Rumble would probably have a much larger market because it's not just the Terra Peaks. Rumble itself has all sorts of markets in front of the actual castle that is the capital of Rumble.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, most of your standard farm animals, cows, pigs, chickens, horses. There's elementals by a lot of the borders.
Those don't bleed.
They don't. Yeah, so that's not going to work. But that's something to keep an eye out for.
But in the pinch.
In a
I don't think you're going to get any blood.
Right.
At all.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yes.
So
you see Bailey mutter to herself, maybe we can harness their power.
Harness their power?
I don't know. Just stuff I hear at college.
Just spitballing?
Yeah. I don't know anything about that. I just know they're really cool. I usually just watch them do cool stuff.
Yeah, often you would see them do lots of cool elemental stuff. They're naturally occurring elementals. I'd say one of the fonder memories you have is of an air elemental coming up behind a mountain goat and just pushing it off a cliff. The mountain goat was fine, but startled. And It was quite a funny experience because it wasn't even like... Elementals don't have goals. They don't really have like motivation to kill. They're just a natural occurring element, and this poor goat was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
But as far as things we'll be able to pick off and harvest on our path, there's like, are there any wild animals that would be able to fit that description?
It's probably small animals like squirrel, rabbits.
Boars are active out in this area.
Deer.
Yep. You would get mountain lions as well.
Mountain lions, but you gotta be careful with those.
I think bears would be more native to actually the area around Rumble.
Bears, but you really gotta be careful with those. They're
fantasy bears.
Very big.
Worse than normal bears.
As bad as an owl bear?
I mean,
depends.
I wasn't. They're part of bears.
All part of the bear club. Got it.
You gotta watch out for the owls. Owls, you say? Mm-hmm. Woo-hoo.
So it sounds like we are we just mapping a path straight to the capital?
Well, I mean, I think we should find a way to maybe navigate our way a little bit along more the safer path.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
If anybody has business in that direction, maybe we do that along the way so we have some extra assistance.
to be frank, you guys are on top of the peaks. There is no paths. There is nothing like through the mountains or carved out anything like that. Honestly, none of you have any idea. I guess Ganu and Sho make history checks. Sho would be the only one that would really have a concept.
13.
I'd say with that, based also on your deduction, like the elevator lift, the only way you guys conceive a way off the peak is taking the lift all the way down to the bottom and just getting kicked out. Then you can walk on normal ground in whatever direction you want. But there is no, like, express highway through the peaks to get to Rumble.
Well, that would be my suggestion. They already seem to want to kick us out anyway, so...
I mean, I wouldn't.
I mean, if say like there's the merchant that mentioned like the barkeeper needed stuff going out to the Tempest Peaks. I mean,
Is that on the way?
maybe we could find a way to get some sort of transport in that, even if it's not all the way to the capital, maybe somewhere nearby,
On the way.
so that we at least have somebody who can navigate for us, maybe, and lead us on a better pathway. Because I certainly don't know what we need to be doing. I have a general sense of a direction, but I mean, I study these things in books. I mean, I know how to navigate on a boat, but not really on land.
And along with that, it'd just be good to have a purpose. People stop you and they ask, what are you doing here? If you have no answer other than travel and inspect some other things. So we have a purpose moving along.
Is there a shake?
It might look good for us.
That's a good idea.
All right then.
Should ask the barkeep what his work is, and if there's something that it pays. I mean, that's necessary. But speaking of payment, Sho, you mentioned that you found a shopkeep the other day or yesterday, whatever day it is. May be willing to trade that potion I gave you.
Yeah.
Should we stop by there after we talk to the barkeep?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll leave you to the negotiating. You did well with those thugs.
Well, yeah, I was under threat of my life and my sister's and all of yours as well. So I thought I was gonna die. I did what I could. Won't say I'll be able to do it again, but we'll see.
Well, if you can command a life or death scenario, then I'm sure you can conquer a shopkeep.
Perhaps, but he's got a lot of speaking under his belt, I'm sure.
Fair enough.
I'll just start walking towards the door and out to the barkeep.
As you go out to the barkeep, you see sitting right at the table is the familiar face of Sizzle. As she sees you come down the stairs, she downs the rest of her drink, slams it onto the table. She slams, a couple of the other Ganassi inside here all tap theirs and slam their drinks onto the table, giving like this cultural approval of somebody finishing a drink. And as she turns and looks at you, Aaron, first she goes, "Man, sleepyheads, not one to seize the day. That's fine. How was your stay last night?"
Well enough, I suppose.
Good. That's what we wanted to hear. We're worried about any troubles that have been popping up. We've been having some issues with newcomers, and we like to look after our own here, so I wanted to make sure there wasn't any issues.
Like, kind of look at Faith if she followed me out.
Yeah, you guys all went out.
Well, I appreciate it. We're not looking to make any trouble, of course.
No. definitely not. You look like the fine group of people on your way to hopefully get involved. We actually heard all about your winnings last night. A lot of the group raves about Anfirth, was it? And Ganu. Masters at the die. I wouldn't mind getting a chance myself at a crack at you guys and your gold.
Well, I really do appreciate that. I mean, we did do well last night, and I'll give Piano a little fist bump. I'm always one for fun and games, so if we get the time, definitely.
All right, well, wonderful. You take care, and if you ever need anything, just go on to, and she goes and points out toward the side. She goes, the Capitol building, and just put in a word for Sizzle. You can reach me, and she comes out of her pocket and flips you a coin with the symbol of the Blaze Syndicate on it. And she goes, show them that, and they'll know that you are friends. As she nods.
Before she...
Actually,
Yeah.
we're trying to make our way a little bit northward. You wouldn't happen to know of any way we might be able to secure a safe passage in that direction?
Well, north might be a little difficult right now. The border's been pretty well, there was an issue a couple months back, and since then the city and syndicate has kind of clamped down hard on anybody passing through. If you got any merchant travels or merchant sales, that's probably your best bet of getting north right now. Do you guys sell anything?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I don't. But if there's anybody looking for perhaps a travel companion or just somebody to tow along some product, we could do that.
The ship's far from home now. They're probably on their way back. All of our merchants went for Santa Ladana Day to Shia, so they should be back in a few months. Most of the merchants are out of the city, but because of that, there's got to be a couple inside that are probably dying to get resupply at this point. I'm sure ask around to some of the better places, and she thinks for a second, sits back, and takes out of her pouch some sort of candy, pops it in her mouth, and starts chewing. Let me go look up a name of a place that might do something good for you.
So, out of game,
Yep.
looking at the map right now, because I have this fantastic glossy map that my fantastic DM sent me. It's going to be really challenging to get to Rumble, especially if the Obsidian Syndicate is cracking down hard on the border, because it's all their territory going northward. If we try and go east, we would have to go through the desert, cross the river, and then shoot north through what looks to be plains for a while. And we don't really have a ton of room westward to work with. We'd still run into Obsidian Syndicate territory eventually, because we'd have to go west off the peaks and then work our way north, and then we're just hitting the Terra peaks eventually anyway. So we really need to find some legitimate business if we want to get there.
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck I put this down, so now I can't find all the names I prepared for the game.
Ooh.
It's alright, Reed. It's not like you do anything with your life anyway. Okay.
His name's Frank now.
We'll call it this stuff. Let's see. Do it live. There is a shop called the Fire Spire. It's a big spire that has fire that goes all the way up it. It is headed by the merchant called Talon, and he is an alchemist. He's probably in dire need of supplies. I don't know what direction it might take you, but worth asking.
What was his name again?
Talon.
Talin?
Tallon. Talon.
All right. Well, any lead is a good one, so I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And if you have any trouble, you let me know, all right? And she...
Aye, we will. Just as one more thing, are there any coastal towns or cities that we might be able to go to that are of note? Maybe that might be an easier travel than going through the Obsidian Syndicate and whatnot up north.
Yeah, well, there is our docks that are on the west coast there. They're unmarked purposely so that all the syndicates don't get any ideas to burn down our ships. So we're constantly moving docks. One should be getting in the next week or two if you can wait around a while. And you could probably try and bum off work on the ship, and they could take you around. These would not be the big ones from a Shire, but some of the smaller ships, more likely to some of our transport crews and resuppliers.
Right. Hi. Well, thank you. And do you think this, and I'll flash the coin, would be helpful there as well?
Oh, certainly. For our docks, yes.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. You guys throw a hell of a party, and that's what we appreciate. And always a good experience to see people that fit in just fine with us.
Well, you have a good day then.
You too. As she nods and she flips a coin behind her head to the barkeep, as the barkeep just watches it sail past him and smack into the back of the bottles and hit the floor. And he leans down and then picks up the coin and puts it in his pocket. And he goes, "Morning to all of you. Seems like Sizzle's got a good beat on you. You still looking for work?"
You mentioned something that was perhaps bringing some things to the Tempest Peaks. Was that right?
Yeah, I got a bunch of orders here for some of our specialty beers and assorted alcoholic products.
Well, we're shopping around at the moment, but if you have more information, perhaps you could sway us your way.
Sure, no, I appreciate the chance. As you see him change moods a little bit and stops whatever he was doing, cleaning the countertop and cleaning cans, and then leans over to look at you guys. This is typically this stuff is I have a horse and carriage that I rent out towards the west coast. You could go around, typically on one of the pathways that we have. It's transitions. There's a bunch of forest-dwelling people that won't be a bother to you. You'll go around them, stay away from the Crow Ridge and all the forests in there, and follow the coastline all the way around. Takes a little longer, but it's a safe pass to get to the Tempest. Air elementals typically don't bother no folks, especially if you're at a low elevation. And you'll probably find yourself in a few weeks or more at the Tempest Peaks. It's normally a quiet, long ride, and that's why I can't get anybody here to pull the job. Everyone's always looking for a new experience. And once they do this once, they never want to do it again.
All right, well, I guess we'll come back and let you know what we're gonna do.
I'm interested. Could you tell me specifically, because I know how much of a labor it must be to craft these specialty ales and drinks. Tell me what exactly we would be shipping.
He leans over and puts his hand on the counter, leans further forward, and puts on top. You can see all these different colored jars and bottles. He goes, "This is one of my home brews here." And he starts going through an assortment of different alcoholics of different colors. Most of it's native to Rumble. A couple are imported, but nothing really too fancy. This would be the equivalent of what Coronas would be or something like that. All local, understood. Nothing crazy fancy or anything like that.
It would do my heart good to support a local business.
Yeah, and I just ask you, don't open it. We got a little fail-safe system, so if you start drinking the stock, they'll know, I'll know, nobody will get paid, and it'll be super unfun.
I wouldn't dream of it.
As he nods and puts it back under the bar shelf.
I mean, that sounds fun to me.
Do a beer run.
Do you know if over by the Tempest Peaks, that's kind of towards the border of the Dawn Call region, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Are you asking your group or are you asking the barkeep?
I'm asking the barkeep.
Yeah. What about the Dawn Call?
Do you think there might be a reliable way to make our way northwards towards Ashaya in that direction?
I mean, you enter the lands of Dawn Call, those idiots will give the shirts off their back for you if you just ask. So, find your way there. You'll be in good shape if you need to go north.
I like the sound of that.
The only problem you might face is those sentries up in Last Star. Nosy lot looking down on a lot of us. Only the best get into Last Star. Don't know what their measure of best might be, but I'll tell you what, it isn't what the best is.
All right. Well, it's certainly an interesting proposition for us. So we're gonna weigh our options, and we'll be back to let you know.
Sounds good. I'm in no rush. I can't get anybody for the job, so call me desperate. As he smiles and goes back to wiping the counter.
So, does everybody want to go then to the other option, the Talon? You can try to track him down. And on our way there, we can try to trade out that potion as well.
At the very least, we can do the potion, yeah.
Might be wise to trade it for several of a lesser quality. That way we can all have one, or you can do whatever you want. I'm going to be fine either way. If I survive getting crushed by a giant boulder from a muscly fiery man, I'm invincible at this point. It's good.
Well, we'll see how long that lasts.
How lasts that long? Yes, indeed.
How lasts that long? Yeah, right.
Still hungover.
Speaking dead languages.
I don't think I drank any water last night.
Just fire, right?
Oh, you gotta.
Oh, a good reminder. Everybody who took those shots, your throat is shot to shit today. It hurts so bad. It feels.
I don't think I got any water last night.
But you can speak just fine. It just hurts. The magic of Rumble.
Well, Sho and Matthias, you were the two that went there, so you want to lead the way? We can go there first, get our business done.
I can do that.
All right. As you guys return back to the Emporium, you can see the Emporium manager look and go, returning! You missed the early morning rock killings, I see. That's all right. We got what we needed, and we have rock meat. Do you want rock meat? As he's holding up, like, a bag of what looks to be, like, the whole bottom is all still wet and gross on the bottom of the bag.
Wait.
Actually, yes.
Backing up a moment.
Yeah.
Is Talon the person that they met last time?
No. This is a completely different
that's
person.
what I thought.
Yeah, this is a different person.
No.
This is a different errand.
Yep. You can ask his name if you want.
We know his name.
Do you? I told you his name?
Do.
Yeah, it is.
This is correct.
Can confirm.
It is.
Can
No,
confirm.
I remember
It is
that.
Abdu.
I didn't fucking forget. Fuck you.
I would never forget an NPC.
Abdu? No way. Oh, man. He's essential to my story. Are you kidding? He's such an important character. Possible to forget. All right. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't here last time. You say rock meat, but odd question, I suppose. You have any rock blood?
It's probably in the meat.
Yeah, we got plenty of rock blood. We're still draining it, to be honest with you.
Do you sell that, or you just get rid of it?
He looks at you. We sell it.
Right. Usually goes for about a few copper pieces per liter, I believe. Back home, at least.
Make a persuasion check.
Nailed it, dude.
Not great, but 10.
10. You see him?
Can I assist him by saying
You can
three
make
whole
your own
copper per liter is for the really high end stuff, from what I understand.
Matthias, go ahead and make a persuasion check as well.
I also rolled a 10. That feels bad.
You see him look to the two of you and being like, what lands do you hail from? Must be cheap to get rock blood that cheap. Well, I'm sorry, everything's a premium on the
place,
peaks.
of course.
Certainly. No, but I'd say it's a silver piece per liter.
I guess if you're gonna ream me, I mean, I can pay it, but price is what it is here, I suppose.
Fair. How many liters are you looking to get?
I'm just gonna look at other people, like what I don't know what liters are, and just said that.
So,
I don't know how much
I'm
you
just
need.
gonna think and just do some quick maths. Like,
Yeah.
So 1 liter is 2.1 pints. Roughly.
Okay. So how many pints do we need
Well,
for?
she said she
She
needed
said
4 to
5 per
a
day.
4
Yeah.
to 5 a day. And then
But
we should maybe
that
get
can
the-
also be like substituted. Like she can have some. That's like all blood, no food. Like she also just needs to eat some stuff as well.
We'll get 10.
Well, we also
Worst
have to
case scenario.
consider. We have to consider. We probably won't have a way to keep this blood good.
We should
So maybe just buy it so that she'll
probably
have a
just
meal
buy
for
enough
today.
to top her off.
And then we'll be
give
able
her
to-
as much as possible. She drinks all of it now.
just put her underneath the trough for now. I think once we get on the road, it'll be hopefully a little bit simpler to hunt.
Hey, yeah.
So that way, we just get her a good meal for today, a little bit of certainty to start.
We could do a little surplus, so let's just go for 4 liters then, I think. That'll be good for 2 days, perhaps.
You got it. And that'll be 4 silver.
Done.
As
Give it to him.
as he goes in the back, he's just like, no, get him! No, not that! No. And he comes out with like a bunch of wine bottles that definitely weren't already used as he places them on the counter, and he's like making sure the tops are nice and snug inside them, and he goes, 4 liters for you there, as you guys give him 4 silver pieces, and he goes, anything else? You guys are looking for inaugurate Emporium.
Yeah, my companions here said that they were here yesterday. I believe.
Yes.
And you had some potions and things that you were interested in selling them, but they couldn't afford it.
Oh, yes. I mean, that's the pricing of, the
Yeah,
premium
no,
of the
of
peaks.
course. Yes, of course. And Sho, could you bring out that thing that you found?
Oh, yeah, I found this on the side of the road the other day, and, well...
Make a disadvantage, a deception check with disadvantage.
Can I help him because I was telling him to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go. That's good.
This is a normal one.
6, right?
Oh,
Is it still a
Yeah, 6
disadvantage?
as well.
Yeah,
if he helps.
If he helps, I will say
If he helps,
straight roll by
16.
show. Okay,
16?
okay.
First one then.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Beth just thinks, I don't know why I lied about that, but why
I
not?
mean, at worst, it was really meant to be a joke, but I guess this is
Yeah.
where we're at now.
Well,
It was a joke that he believed.
It was, yeah, it wasn't quick enough. He goes, he gives a look to you, and then he goes, oh, you found it on the side of the road. Right. Good. Yeah, no, we're fine with stuff that's found on the side of the road here.
He didn't really find it at the side of the road. I gave it to him.
Oh.
It's more of a joke. You didn't really pick up on that,
It was
but
a
that's
poor...
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You see him stop for a second. He closes the book. He's like, so, you seem new to Rumble, all right? I'm going to give you a little tip here. When you're in Rumble, there's a thing called implied conversation. And when you say stuff like, I found it on the side of the street, it implies you killed somebody for it. Now, some establishments won't take that stuff. Many Rumble establishments do. You just don't ask questions. So in the future, though, if you're going to joke around that way, you might end up with people asking the wrong kind of questions, all right? I'm looking out for you. You might get people asking, who did you take it from? Was it my friend? Could have been Grammy. You don't want to get them upset. And then they think, oh, you think I'm stupid? These are the thugs I work with, all right? So just, I'm looking out for you.
Very useful information. I appreciate that. Sorry, our humor wasn't quite your style.
It takes a bit adjusting here in Rumble, but it's fine. It's fine. You know, you got to be on edge. You hear all sorts of things out there. Some of the syndicates out there don't have quite a sense of humor. The Obsidian one in particular, they've got the weirdest sense of humor, that's for sure. And now he's talking black market. Once again, he started going back into his completely other dialect.
So, with this, we were looking to trade it in, or perhaps if you just want to buy it, and then we can barter afterwards, but...
All right. What are you looking to trade it for? That's an exquisite potion you got there.
Well, it was mentioned you had some lesser potions, is that right?
Yeah. They go for about 50 gold apiece. One of those. Get you about 4 of them.
Just look to everyone, see if they're approving.
I'm gonna take a look at Bailey.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna take a moment and then like just idle my way up to her and be like, those kinds of potions are like a couple thousand gold, aren't they?
The one you have? It's probably the lower end of the high end ones, but they probably go for about 500 gold pieces or so back in last star.
The superior?
Yeah. We got even more
there's
stuff.
Superior, and then there's Supreme. Supreme is
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. No. Kidding me? You were level 0 or level 1. I wasn't giving you guys super duper stuff. It was expensive, but not that expensive. I think it's actually lists for like 250, but you're talking to rich lady girl.
If I see Fate, like, yeah.
I think we could probably figure out a better deal for that. I think that's a little low for our end.
But I gotta make a living up here on the peaks. It's tough to sell things way up here. You can make a persuasion check. The real BBEG bartering.
That's us. And that's 17 from the Warlock.
What do you think would be a fairer deal for you, huh? I see you guys don't know about all the pricing up here, so I'll cut you a break. What are you looking for?
Well, I think we take potions.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could outfit us with some supplies for a long distance journey as well. Or point us in the direction towards that and maybe even out the price a little bit more.
Long distance equipment, that'll cost you a lot of money for that stuff. I mean, that's you're getting 200 gold pieces worth of potions here. At least. And you see him looking around. Could give you maybe throw in 2 weeks worth of rations, you know, bedrolls, tents, all that standard stuff. That'd probably about get it. Long travel, that stuff's gonna cost you hundreds and hundreds of gold pieces. If you want some horses and travel that way, wagons, now we're talking big money.
Not necessarily those things, more just the supplies, bags, kits, things like that.
Cantinas and all that.
Yeah.
There's 8 of you. Since the whole group is traveling together now at this point. That's quite a steep outfit, each and every one of you. You give me one of those potions and maybe another 15, 20 gold. And then I probably outfit everybody with the travel supplies.
So just the potion with 15, 20 gold.
Yeah, that'll get you guys like standard traveling supplies. You'll be able to have backpacks, cantinas, bedrolls, torches.
I have all that stuff already.
Well, I'll
food
look to the
carrying
group.
cases.
How many of us are gonna need something like that? I know I certainly will, but
I have a bedroll. I have rations. I have torches, tinderbox, water skin, rope.
I'm also pretty well equipped.
I don't
Yeah.
have anything.
A few tents would be useful for sure.
Yeah,
So,
I don't
not
have a
necessarily
tent.
8, just the 6 of us.
Mhm. So tents, you could purchase tents. What else other equipment were you looking for? Any mountaineering gear is going to cost?
It was mostly looking to try basically the supplies for like 6 adventurers packs.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that could be. We could do that.
That's essentially what I was going for.
Mm-hmm.
To get us all kind of outfitted for a journey.
Well, for the people who don't have an adventures pack already, right?
I am currently outfitted for that, so you don't need to include me in the price there.
I'm super not outfitted.
So maybe, yeah, so like 6
Three.
essentially explorer packs plus
Yep.
the 4 potions.
Yeah, it costs you about 20 gold pieces plus the superior.
20, you said?
20, yep. To
Okay.
outfit 6 people, especially peak pricing. And get 4 normal healing potions.
I'll look
Okay.
to the group to see if does that sound reasonable from your end. I'll kind of lean in close to Annafirth and I'll kind of say it's like 260 gold for a 500 gold potion, but he's got to resell it.
I mean, I think
That was
we're gonna
quietly
get
and only to Annafirth.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'll whisper back. I don't think we're gonna get a better price, so it's better to have things now.
All right. I think that sounds good. We'll do the potion plus an extra 20 gold for some packs, the 4 potions, and 2 weeks worth of rations.
Mm-hmm.
Manfred?
Works for me.
All right, so you guys decide how you want to divvy up the gold, and then you
I
can
offer up 4.
you can remove some from your inventory, the big
I will-
potion, and then you guys can add the 4 however you want.
I will add 1 platinum to the payment. So that means just
So we
another
only
10
need
gold.
another 10. Alright. I'll add 4 gold.
I just
I
look
can-
at Bailey.
I'll toss in 4.
Bailey looks at you and she's like, "Ugh, I already paid the difference last night." But she goes in her pocket and gives 2 gold pieces.
Well, that's enough then. Give it
Jacques,
to him.
you see he gets his pack and she's like, "Oh my goodness." You see Autumn just like, I don't carry money on me when I was on guard, so sorry.
You're good. We got it covered.
Hey, we have it covered, so trade everything to him.
Okay, you see as he does it all, gives you guys all the packs, big ass smile on his face. He's like, "Well, is there anything else I could do for you, lot? You have been
Hey, yeah,
wonderful customers."
You know, my friends came in here, as I mentioned yesterday, and
Yes.
you know, I told them to go out and look for a fancy belt for me. I
Yeah.
wanted to get something that maybe had some kind of representation of the city.
We got belts. We got loads of belts.
Anything really just pops out.
I mean, and he just sort of motions toward a wall full of just knickknacks and bullshit. Like I Love New York equivalent bullshit.
Mhm.
Tons
Yes.
of it on there.
It's an I Love New York store.
One wall of it is.
$1.75.
But a lot of it has the symbols of like the sun with a slash through it for the peaks, for the sunspot city. There's emblems of the Blaze Syndicate that are inside here, but clearly they're done in such a way that is, you can tell, knockoff. Like
Mm.
merchants know, like there's the fun advertising, like kind of like how Yakuza were in the past in Japan. Like they could publicly be Yakuza until like they cracked down on the Yakuza. So just like, oh, corporation in the name of their group was on there, they couldn't do anything. So that's the outward facing symbolism. But then the what coin you got has more intricacies to it that lets you know this is like real shit. This is not forgery. This is, you got somebody that's a part of the good graces of the syndicate.
I'll just find something that looks nice.
By chance, do you have an ink pen? I
Ink?
seem to have misplaced mine.
Oh, sorry. Here, I meant to give it back earlier. Thanks.
Never mind.
I saw that you had dropped it, and I picked it up with the intention, but then I remembered, and I had to. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I'll cover the cost of the painting for you. How about that?
Okay then.
You guys still looking for work?
We're looking for safe passage.
Safe passage.
So if like you need anything, if you need assistance with something delivered, that kind of thing.
I got a guy. He normally crosses the old desert for me. Trade with the others. Ganassi across the way. So I'm good on that.
Okay.
Do you know anybody named Talon?
Yeah, he's a bastard. Always trying to run me out of business. What about him?
We're just looking for him.
Yeah, it's like you go down 2 blocks, take a left. You gotta go past the firebrands. It's a whole hubbub of, I don't get it, kids these days. You go past that, and then you take one more left, and it'll look like a dingy piece of garbage. You know you found the place. And then you go in there, and he sells all sorts of crap. I have the good herbs. He points over to his little alchemist section. He's just like, that is where you can get quality ingredients, or you can go to his place and get crap.
Is there a name for his establishment?
Yes, totally. Did I not tell it to you earlier? Swear I did.
No, it's the Firespire.
Yeah, it's the Firespire.
Yeah, okay.
Gaudy flames and shit that go all around it.
All right, well, we appreciate it. Good doing business with you.
Certainly. Did you see Talon? Tell him to go to hell for me.
Will do.
Nods very happily.
Anybody that I'm next to, I'm just going to whisper, and whoever's closest to me, I'm not going to do that.
Probably Ganu. All right. So
Anybody else have anything to do here then?
shopping
We're headed to the
episode.
Firespire.
All
No,
right.
let's go to the Firespire. Adventure!
Make our way.
You make your way to the Fire Spire. Everybody, give me a perception check.
Perception.
5.
Nice.
Can I make my perception check with my familiar instead?
5.
Sure.
I got a 6.
You guys are
12.
happy as shit, skipping
12.
through the streets.
16,
All right, Ganu.
16.
All right, Ganu. All right, Ganu. Oh, I gotta roll for my people.
Oh,
High wisdom.
Adrelix got a 21.
let's
Nice.
go, Adrelix. I had noticed that I was starting to get a little low on funds, and there was some pickpocketing action going on. So I want to try and keep an eye peeled for somebody who looks as though they have successfully pickpocketed somebody, and then I want to try and pickpocket them.
Okay. Autumn, and
See.
you give me another perception check for that. Autumn and Bailey rolled high. Jacques did not. Jacques is actually looking to the party, and he just goes, that was very kind of you. It's extremely embarrassing that I don't have any coin, and I don't know if my coin would even work here, as he holds what few like silver pieces he has on him. The coin itself is unrecognizable. Like, you guys have no idea what the hell the mint is or what the symbols are on that. That doesn't make any sense to you.
It was an 18 on that perception roll.
18. Okay. Well, for Ganu, shows familiar, and the other two, as you guys are walking through the streets and taking your turns, in one of the alleyways, you can see another one of those like people you saw originally in the bar in the black cloaks. Seem to just be face out, but you can't see into the black cloak. As you guys walk by, you see that, and you walk by another alley and you see 2 of those cloaks. And you walk by one more alley, and then you see 3 of those cloaks. And then the next one, there's nobody.
Some more of those cloaked fellas. Same as the bar.
Oh, I really hope they try and start something.
That could be fun.
You hear Autumn lean
don't.
over, and she goes, "Do you have a weapon?" And you see Bailey. She's like, I have spells. I have attack spells." And you just see out of the air, this shadow blackness, takes form into Autumn's hand, and she just forms a knife, and she just hands the dagger over to her, and she goes, "Here." And you see Bailey like, "Weapons hurting people?" Wide-eyed. The girl that is normally a fiery upstart from what you originally saw is getting farther and farther out of her element. And you guys arrive at the Fire Spire.
Wait, was there nobody to steal from?
Not from where you were going right now.
Dang it.
It was actually where you're going. Less and less people are getting populated. He's not in a great area, Talon.
That's okay.
People
That's
go
okay.
to Talon. You can find like this. Remember, most stores are made out of rock because you guys are inside a peak, a mountaintop peak. And as you approach it, you can see there's like a trail that he's carved in, like a trough where that normally like maybe water would come down, spiraling around the spire that's the top of his shop. It's all flames, and on it in like in fancy cursive, it says Fire Spire, and it's backlit by a fire that is brewed back there, or is being stoked back there. You guys open up into the shop, and you can see it is clearly an alchemist shop with all sorts of different herbs and materials hanging from the ceiling. All these different tables completely filled with garbage and crap, used and unused, bowls and bottles, and a lot of the stuff seems jerry-rigged or DIY as he's taped things together and everything. And you can see the place looks like there's absolutely nobody in the store at the moment.
Hello?
Oh, hi. Oh, as you hear him a bump underneath the counter, and then his head barely gets over the top of the counter. He's like, "Oh, hello there." And he comes around the counter, and he's about like 4'8", the Ganassi, as he walks over. He's got his marbled skin. He's got big round glasses on him, really bright white teeth, and his hair itself, the fire itself looks like if fire could be slicked back, this is how it would be done, but it still waves back and forth, but always comes back to like this neat looking image every few seconds. His attire itself are these deep, I'd say sun-dried, like sun-blasted robes of a khaki, and on them it has all these different designs, all gold, like at the edgings of them, but they don't really mean anything, and they don't really seem to be, they're not runic, and they're not any blaze stuff. But yeah, so Talon then approaches the group, and he goes, "Greetings! How are you? Welcome to the Fire Spire. Do you need some ointments, something for longevity, something for your skin, something to get, things going at night, whatever you need? I gotcha."
We're actually looking for a way to get past the border. We're a little bit displaced from our home, and we are looking to try and make
you needed some help.
Yeah,
Sizzle
Sizzle mentioned you might need some help moving things. So if we could get a route, a safer route outside of the region, we'd be willing to help with moving some stuff.
Well, I don't know about safe per se, but Sizzle's always he always finds a way to find people, man. I give her that. Yeah, so I have a bunch of materials that were supposed to be traded last time, and that didn't go so well. But it wasn't just me, it was really all the merchants that went. A few months back, we had an issue. One of the merchants made a mistake, and of course, you know, as Ganassi are known for, we get a little rough out here in Rumble. And set some of the supplies of the other merchants on fire. It happens. They freak out. But, yeah, the Obsidian Syndicate didn't take well to that. And they ended up rounding up all the merchants there. And, well, the merchants that were present that no longer sell. And the people that were bringing my fine merchandise there. And, well, they didn't come home, let's say, on any of them. So, we still need to sell the supplies. We gotta recover those losses, and I didn't know the people that were selling my stuff that well personally, so it was, you know, sad. Some of the families, it was crushing, you know, entire merchants, overnight gone. I wouldn't want to be them, but, you know, life has to go on and business has to go on, so... they're still open to it as long as we don't burn their stuff down. I'm sure they would be welcome of more tradings and supplies.
And where do these supplies need to go to?
Oh, there's a trading post outside, quite a ways outside Rumble, that you would go to. It would be called... the Gravel Market.
Assume I'm not familiar with that.
No, it's not listed on a map. And what you'll find in Rumble now is becoming a recurring pattern. A fair amount of the where to meet places, they not only aren't typically public information, but they're also don't stay in the same spot for long. They constantly have to rotate things between the different syndicates.
If it's all right that our portion is a one-way trip, I mean, we could help make sure the supplies try and get there safely.
Well, how about you I'll give you a breakdown of the profit margins and what's expected to be sent back to me. You take a percentage of that gold that you make when you sell, hire somebody out there to bring my stuff back for anything that doesn't sell, and then you can do whatever you want.
Look to the group. That sound good?
Sounds like what we're looking for. But I think we'll have to just discuss for a bit. We have some other options that we're considering.
Certainly, no. I've can't find anybody to do it for quite some time now, so...
That's what everyone says. Lack of work around here.
It's a bit frustrating. A
Lack
lot
of workers.
a lot of people left after that on the border, which was a shame. Whole hubbub. I don't get involved with the politics of all this type of stuff. I just make my money, get the coin, and I love making potions. That's all there is to life for me, so I don't need the rest of that. But unfortunately, people have to get all involved with things, and they get hot-headed and prideful, and they leave the peaks, or they go do their own things.
I'll just turn to the group and try to show them over a little bit and just say, so what are we thinking then? We have two options. One goes to Rumble and the other goes to the Tempest Peaks.
Honestly, these syndicates sound like nasty business.
I agree.
This is a much higher risk job than the other ones, but it does bring us to the destination of Rumble eventually, at least outside of there, from what it sounds. And then compared to the other jobs we have, this is the only one that brings us in a direct route towards that.
But as Faith pointed out, it might be better to get near dawn call anyway.
I think my only concern with this job is if we make it out there, how do we find somebody who can deliver the supplies safely? I mean, who's to say they just take the money and walk away and start selling the supplies on their own, and then we just never show back up.
Sure.
I
So
don't know if I want to be involved in something like that, because this fine man might blame us if somebody doesn't live up to their end. I think it's a little bit more out of the way, but I think maybe our somewhat more assured option is Tempest Peaks.
I think I am in agreement with you there. The beer run sounds the most fun, the most low risk, and brings us to our ultimate goal a little bit quicker. Plus, we can offload Bailey sooner, so I'm on board for that.
Why would you offload
Keanu,
Bailey
show.
sooner? She needs to go last star.
Yeah, it gets us because last star. Let me look.
Look again.
Let me look.
Last star is
Very
further
far
north
away.
than Ishaya is.
What you perceive as safer path so far is
It's much longer.
very long. You're going to turn
It's
into
like a big L slightly downward across the country, and then we have to go north.
Yeah, you're
rather
talking
than
about
going more directly
many
north.
weeks journey.
Well, all right. Well, we'll get there one way or the other. Might be smarter to take the safer passage for now, even if it's a bit off the beaten path. Get to see more of the world that way.
I think I like the safer option better.
Sure, Ganu, anything?
I'm conversating with Adrelix right now. Apologies. Telepathic things.
Anything interesting?
Just reminiscing travels to Rumble. Trying to see if he remembers anything I don't.
Yeah, go ahead and make a history check.
$24.
Adrelix is fucking smart.
This would be Whispers, Matt Mercer style.
Let's go.
That's Adrelix.
Adrelix is goated. He has better initiative than I do. He's smarter than I am. He sees more than I do. He's just. I'm just gonna play as the cat.
Make show
now.
the familiar.
Yeah, plot twist. You're actually the familiar.
Guys, it's episode 3. Shut up! We can't have our big reveal now. Wow!
That would be a cool
The
reveal.
reveal is the cat is the magician, and the Ganassi is the familiar.
That
What a
would be a
twist.
cool twist. What a twist.
With the 24, you get this.
Neato. Burrito. Oh. I hope.
He's actually Hitler.
Oh shit. Alright. That's good to know actually. I know we're a bit sold on the Tempest Peaks, but I do have a good friend, Clay, in Rumble, and he is influential enough, not associated with the Syndicate as far as I'm aware, and could secure his transport provided we do a favor for him. But it wouldn't be anything that's nefarious or anything weird. Yeah. Anything unscrupulous or nefarious or anything like that.
It could be weird.
It could be weird, but it wouldn't be illegal.
Would
I
he
hope.
be able to help us out with securing kind of the final portion of Talon's request?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see any issue with that.
Somebody who wouldn't just leave us in the dust and steal the money.
He's a trustworthy person.
I would say
Okay.
historically too. Now that you've got like talking about this conversation, Faith has brought this up. You remembered during your time, especially with your merchant dad and trading around here, the merchants are sort of like untouchables. And actually, to hear that story is almost really alarming. That merchants were murdered. That's normally a no-go. That's one of the big like core.
Like a code.
Because they without the merchants, if we start screwing with all the merchants, no trade, and then all of a sudden all the different peaks, as
The
much as
entire economy is fucked.
they don't want to admit it, but they need each other. As much as they each think they're great and they can be self-sufficient, they can't be because they live on peaks. Because they live on mountain peaks. And go figure, mountain peaks don't have every resource you need to live in a large city in society.
Very different perspective from us coming from the center port city of the entire continent.
Yes.
I mean,
That
if-
sounds good to me.
that does sound like a good option because that definitely dramatically shortens the distance we have to travel.
Right. That is yeah. And I like I said before, I have personal curiosities tied to the place, and I know enough, at least in dealings with merchants, that I could assist Clay and potentially Talon with anything he needs.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to take a trip to Rumble. That would be a lot of fun.
I would as well, but again, it is a group consensus. But I
Yeah.
can at least offer that I know someone who could help with the final portion of the job.
Because a booze run sounds really fun too. So I'm like, Rumble, booze run.
Really, which part of the country do I
Well,
want to see?
we're not going to be drinking the booze that we're delivering.
It's actually explicitly part of the
know.
job.
Oh, I know, but we're going on.
Once we deliver it, we can buy it.
To yes, but no, like you hear those like legendary tales of like the greatest booze runs of all time, where people brought the liquor through the jungles and the mountains and through for miles and miles, and it just sounded like a cool time.
I just for a little perspective, you guys may be on this adventuring type thing for a bit, but me and my brother just disappeared for a week. I mean, we have ties back home that are worried about us, so
Right. That's
which is why Rumble was a good idea, because quicker.
Exactly.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling
Also,
homesick
Factor
already.
into my thinking.
Yeah, and also our other companions need to get back as well.
It
Yeah.
is the most utilitarian option, I think.
Mhm.
Just looking at the distance
think-
in my head wise, it would take
It would be
you
months.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 months to get the Tempest Peaks.
One journey.
But to go from Bonfire takes about 2 weeks to get to Rumble, and then from Rumble, depending on what you get, slow or fast travel, we're only looking at like 3 weeks to Last Star, and then to the coast, and then another 3 weeks to get to the capital again, depending on how fast and what you got traveling. Some things might be faster, some things might be slower.
Oh.
So that'd be like half, it's way less than half. It's if you go one way.
Yeah.
But one way avoids a lot of the nonsense.
Yeah, so Rumble sounds good, especially since Show's got a buddy who can hook us up.
It's like that's what we're in favor of, so we're taking this job from Talon. Yes? Alright.
As long as it doesn't put
Think
us
so.
in any unnecessary danger, it should be fine.
It should be fine.
All right then. So, Talon, how much exactly are you? Oh, go back up to him.
Yeah.
How much exactly is this paying?
Oh, well, typically this job will pay about 250 gold pieces for delivery. once you deliver and I get my items returned from whatever the sales would be, it'll take a few days from the trade back and forth with the people. Upon my successful return of the goods, I'll send the other 350, and you guys can do what you want with that gold. It normally pays a total of, what did I say, 250 and 350 is 600 gold pieces.
It's real close to the other offer we had. It's hard to pick, though.
Well,
Do 800.
Is that deception or persuasion?
That's definitely deception.
Yeah, so we'll go make a deception check on the tower.
Enneperth, by the way, it is quite odd for merchants to go missing. That is not a normal occurrence.
That's true. So we will be in a little more danger.
With advantage. Good call, show. Don't be annoying. I was about to be like, these bitches are going to be advantaging all the time. Like, this ain't going to work all the time. But that was a really good one that definitely worked all the time this time.
Next clues, baby.
23.
Yeah, you make a good point. Sure, what the hell's another 200 for me? Sure. You'll get that as long as you, the supplies comes back. I'll tack on that, so you'll get paid 250.
Yes, of course.
And then I'll send, if I get my supplies back, 550 your way.
The bonus.
Where would that be sent since we're
to the are you leaving immediately from there?
I think that was the plan, right?
I mean,
we can
I can
It's gonna take us some time to take care of business in Rumble, I would imagine.
I can send it by like courier pigeon.
I mean, I just want to know where. We can always come back.
It'll be waiting for you, certainly. If you'd like to come back and pick it up, I'd prefer that.
It just... Are we planning on staying a while in Rumble?
At least a few days.
Okay. Alright, so we'll just plan on that then.
Well,
How long would it take to send a
Well,
pigeon with
it would.
I was joking. You can't send a fucking pigeon with that much gold pieces. But maybe a courier. I could probably hire a courier. You guys don't seem to get Rumble humor around here, do you?
I knew you were kidding.
Your humor doesn't seem to get mine either, so I...
Oh, all right, that's fine. It takes a while. You know, I haven't talked to people in forever. It's like I've been locked in for a very long time. Anywho, don't get out too much, but sure, potentially could hire a courier. He'll probably take a coin or two off you guys for the way back, but again, that'd be a few weeks' journey for them to return, then a few weeks' journey to come back out to you. So,
Right, well, yeah, we can do
The only
that.
option we have,
It works
really.
for me, I suppose. Let's get it sent to Rumble.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Actually,
As my friend brought up, it's quite the dangerous situation going out there. So maybe instead of tacking on the 200 at the end, you could tack on 50 on the top and then 150 at the end, just for the dangerous journey we're about to partake in.
make a persuasion check. No one can help him. I'll give you disadvantage because it's too many people and it starts to feel like you're taking advantage of them.
Gonna be even worse. Oh, that's fine. 12.
12? No, I think we're good. I think what we got is the right agreement.
Faith, I think you had something to say.
oh, I was gonna say, Sho, if we could give them the name of your friend, so that he could hold on to it for us.
Thinking the same thing. Your friend
If-
could hold. the
Yes.
Oh, good. You have friends. Yes, that's a better
I
idea.
do. Yes. You could hold the money with Clay.
Did he have a last name?
I don't think you sent me a last name
I
for him. I
didn't.
think you just called him Clay.
Yeah, he
So
did. So
whatever
actually,
you want to do
yeah.
there.
An Earth Genasi
Show.
named Clay. That's
It
not
hits
the...
you. You don't know as much as you thought you knew about your good friend. You bonded with him. You know quite a bit, but you just know his name is Clay, and he's an Earth Genasi at Rumble.
What are his affiliations?
You know, he was pretty shady about that stuff, but he worked in the marketplace, and everyone knows Clay. That's why he never bothered to ask more. Everyone knows who the hell Clay is.
He's kind of like a local celebrity.
Yeah, especially in the merchant's corner, he gets to know everybody. I'm double checking if there's anything else you knew about him, though.
He's cool. He likes me.
You drank with him. You experienced some stuff with him in Rumble. He showed you
He
some
took me under his
things.
wing.
Exactly.
It was like his it was his protege there. Kind of.
Yep.
But I don't know his name.
You're not even sure that's his real name. Now that you're thinking about it, it's one of those summers where you're like, "Fuck, why didn't I?" Fuck, totally. You were just on the experience, wide-eyed, excited. Everyone, you were just so not gullible, but innocent.
Well, if you don't know the name fully, show. Is there any tavern or anything like that you remember staying at?
Oh,
No, you
definitely.
do.
Definitely.
The mudslide.
Ah, the mudslide, yes.
And you see
Classic tavern.
he puts his eyebrow and goes, "Mudslide? Play at mudslide then." Okay. You did you have a good summer break then?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. The Mudslide Tavern? That was Clay's favorite place. But a little weird that this guy recognizes it.
Is it like notorious?
You could ask.
I'd only ever been to Rumble in the Peaks. Seems a bit weird that you would know the name of a random bar in Rumble.
Oh, it's hardly random. That is probably the most used bar by all the syndicates. It's like a neutral territory. When I'm out of town, I'd end up when I go in person, I probably go to the Mudslide, depending on what day of the week it is and which Ganassies are in the bar.
It's good to know. It's kind of like a what's the word I'm looking for? Neutral zone?
Yeah, that's how we all perceive it. It's one of those things, but it's best that, you don't mix, On
You
one
mentioned,
day, you'll have
day.
two of them come in from, like, the Frost and the Tempest. They'll go in there, the Air and the Frost Ganassi. They'll hook up. Fire and Earth Ganassi, they don't share a day. We normally will go in on some of the off days and which ones that, we mix and match. We do all right. Lightning Ganassi are great. We're real good with them. I believe that's on 4th day of the week. I didn't name the days of the week, so go fuck yourself.
Ah, yes, 4th day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5 days a week. There's 5 days a week, 5 weeks in a month, 15 months in a year. It's all fives. I named all the months.
Absolutely remember that.
I have all the months.
It's
I
only
named
been 3 years.
Yeah.
It's easy.
I might have named the day. Oh, I did name the days of the week. I did. Wait. Oh, I'm such a good boy. Wait a minute. I totally did. You just jogged my memory. I did like a whole deep dive into.
I sworn you got deep into the calendar.
Yeah, I did. Each day of the week is named after the gods and goddesses, and then there's one extra. So let me go in the group chat. Wait a minute.
It's the ones that the unions created.
The unions created.
It's the off day.
Those are the months of the year. And then the days would be this.
While I have a moment, by the way, if you see me looking off screen, it's
Mhm.
because I have Sam here.
Hi, Sam.
Hi.
Oh,
Hi,
cool.
Sam.
You can hear. Oh, that's
Hello.
terrific. Hey,
Well,
wonderful.
we
I hope you're not bored out of your mind, but then again, that's D&D, so there you go.
Yeah, dude, D&D is just so boring.
It's super boring unless
Yeah,
you're
dude.
playing. Then you're
Yeah.
It
like,
takes 2 hours for a party to decide what they want to do. Oh my god, it's terrible.
God, it's the worst.
I stabbed the shopkeep.
Let's go.
Now we're talking.
Steal his clothes and become the shopkeep.
Play his skin.
There's
Become the shopkeep.
there's a month called Vormont. It's definitely
Vormont.
What?
Vormont.
Oh, fuck.
Let's go.
Best month.
It's all the skiing.
It should have been the
all
4th
best
month.
skiing and stuff.
I
Yeah.
should have knew better. I knew.
Maple
Give
syrup
them enough
and
time, they'll
that kind
find
of thing.
something. I was pretty good with them.
It's fine, dude.
Ew, one of them is different. That's weird. I think it's stupid.
Why?
So if you
One of them
notice,
doesn't have an O.
the first 10 are named after gods. The next 5 are not. Those are what like the normal beings made for days as time went on. They kept track of calendars, and that's reflected again in the days in the week. Are the first 4 gods, the creators, and the last day. I don't like using the word man, but it'd be the equivalent. It's just like there was 10 months for the gods and 5 months for man. There was 4 days for the gods and 1 day for man. But I call everything beings in this world, and that's what beings got to call their months and days. So like, all right then.
You want to know what's a good idea?
No.
Telling the DM that his ideas are stupid.
I
That's
love
a great
doing that.
Don't
though.
worry,
Surely
you
this will never
inadvertently-
backfire.
You inadvertently did that this session, so I'm just like, fuck. Oh well, there goes that.
So what day of the week would we likely, if we were to go to the mudslide, would we encounter Clay there?
Zahara would be a Earth Ganassi day.
So Zahara, which is the 4th day of the week.
Yeah, Fire Ganassi, or no, I'm sorry, no, Earth Ganassi, I flipped them. Earth Ganassi would always get the start of the week. They get first pick, so they would be
Kralo.
Kralo. The 4th day of the week would be for the Fire Ganassi.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're looking to hit it up on the first day of the week.
What a good boy I am.
Nice job. Good
I'm
world
just trying
there.
to understand the 5th day, though, the one that I commented on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to understand it, man. You got Krallo, like Cortula, Corlin, Melora, Zahir. What is HIR? Is it the poop god?
You will know when you run into the poop god this campaign. Let me tell you. Your group, you all fucked up. Let me just tell you. I feel like this might be the time I'll get the DM where you give me the X and be like, Reed, I don't want to play this anymore. You need to stop. You guys enabled something awful.
Okay.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Who
You said
knows
the last
what?
day was for mortals.
Yeah, and
for
they named
beings.
it that, which was based on. I got to go back to the lore sheet, which was, it was based on the HIR, which higher, and that's would be Heres, would be the last day, not hires, but Heres. Seeing it, what god is that? I don't know. Don't worry about it right now.
I'm not worried about it right now.
So this is the plan. We'll
This is the plan.
deliver
accept
town
the job.
stuff. We'll
Quest
have
accepted.
payment be left with Clay.
He
for a
goes,
later
great!
pickup.
And he takes a contract out and makes you all sign it.
Ooh.
Ready?
We'll read it.
Ready
I
to
will
Is this
read
is
that
this like a
fucking
is this
contract.
standard? This is standard practice, right?
Absolutely. Are you shitting me?
I thought so.
This is like 101. This is honestly like half the time legal killings are done. Legal killings is the breaking of contracts in Rumble.
I will read the shit out of that contract.
Go ahead and make intelligence checks for everybody reading the contract.
I'm sure
I
it's
just want to
all
look for
over.
I just want to look for the numbers to make sure that he had
Yep.
the correct
It's
numbers.
all in
that I-
primordial as well.
Okay.
Oh, well, I don't speak
Or the
primordial, so
primordial.
never
I
mind.
can't read it.
You can still make intelligence checks.
I got like a 4. It's
Yeah.
fine.
It looks like primordial.
All right,
I-
sign on the dotted line, baby.
I took one look, rolled a 5, and I was like, I don't understand this language.
Oh, geez. The
I'll
smart
just,
character.
I'll just translate it
zero.
as I'm reading it.
What did you roll?
Like,
there,
I'm
Show?
gonna read it out loud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many pages?
I was hoping you were going to do it because otherwise I would
Like-
have.
It's a couple
Like,
pages.
like bullet points, like, this section means this. This section means this.
Well, it's one of those things that's very helpful, and you also can clearly see and have experience, actually, even in your time, that this is a common tactic of merchants, that they'll do it in their native language, because they speak common, but they'll give it to you in their native language so they can put shit in.
Yep.
There's clauses inside this contract in which they state, like, if you don't sell X amount of percentage of the goods, he doesn't have to pay you X amount of what you guys agreed upon. There's, like, if you damage the goods, 0. If they tell me, like, the stuff came back damaged, 0, you don't get anything. And that you owe him the money back, and it's up to you. And if you don't give him the money back, then it's a noted mark, whatever the hell that means in that terminology. You would know,
It's a demerit.
well, it's more or less like if you fuck over a merchant that's associated with the syndicate will know and they'll take care of it. So that's their way of keeping things in line. That's why they don't really care about who does it, because, like, you fuck me over and don't give me my money back, I'll get it back. Don't worry, give it time, I'll get it back. But that also means they're all subservient to the syndicates.
Double-edged sword.
But yeah, so reading through the contract, what was your intelligence check? Show Araya, showman, show Rio. You're muted. Don't. Nope. You said it. You were unmuted, but it was so quiet.
I
6.
said 10.
10.
Oh, God.
Looks good to you.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Is there any
Can
reason?
Did you? Okay, I mean,
Mhm.
my passive investigation is 15, so
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts for anything.
I mean, that would be trying to
Investigate.
locate
Like-
stuff, not understand legalese. Like, you might
Okay,
be trying to...
I'm saying, like, based on my background with literal parents who are merchants,
Yes.
and
Yeah, that's all factored into the
knowing
DC.
the language,
Yeah.
Like- I'm reading it while also trying to look out for weird clauses. But regardless, if there's something there, there's something there.
Oh, come on. We already went over it with them. We're good. Come
Yeah,
on.
let's just sign. Let's just sign, do the job, and then go home.
Let's just get out of here.
I can at least read the language and try to, like, sound it out for the party, right? Just based on
It's-
section.
It's fine.
Just
Let's
do
just
it.
do it. Let's just do
We
it.
did that.
All right. Then we're signing.
I'm ready to sign. I steal Faith's pen again and sign.
We're signing. Fuck it.
Okay, you guys sign.
After Matthias is done, I'm going to steal the pen and then sign it.
All right.
And then give it back to Matthias.
I'm gonna use
I
my
hand it-
hand
I
to
hand it
take
to
it
Shel.
back. Just telekinetically, you just see it just invisibly, it just lifts out of your hand. And it
No,
comes
no,
back,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
And I just give him a dirty look.
Have you always been able to do that with pens?
Do what? Move
I mean,
things?
she was doing that with the monsters we encountered in Tasha's mansions, so I would assume
I mean,
that.
true, but I just wasn't sure if it was a pen-specific thing or a
What a niche power!
person-specific thing. I don't know.
Part of my magic.
That's cool.
It's an animated pen, actually.
You see Jock lean in and goes, oh, we used to have all sorts of stuff like that actually back home. We had tricks that we weren't magical, but the items were. We used all things called, and don't laugh at me, magnetism. Is that still a thing? Does that still work?
I'm just gonna glance at Bailey.
she gives an eye like, I mean, this is, she gives you an eye like, at least he knows Magnus. And he's like, okay, so, like, magnets are still agreed upon in this society. This is still a thing. The world's
Sort of
very
thing.
scary for me, all right? I have no idea what's going on, and we're a very different place, but...
As a general rule of thumb, the laws of nature don't really change, but, crazy things have happened. I don't know.
You said you spent a week there, and you were there for years, but it was a couple of weeks. I was there for hundreds of years. I don't...
Magic. Magic.
My son loved magic. I used to perform it for him all the time, and I used to have something similar to that, but...
Looks will like curl up on his neck like a scarf as
Oh,
he can kind of like sense his distress.
oh,
You don't have to be very condescending, guys. And I'll look to Jacques and be like, yes, magnetism still exists. Interestingly, there's an entire school devoted to like gravity and that kind of aspect.
That's actually why I looked at Bailey.
yeah,
I was hoping she would
That's
provide an
what Bailey
explanation.
studied.
You see Bailey as she puts her finger out and she starts levitating the pen herself, and then also she puts that down, and you see in her hand she just opens up and you see a mini black hole open in her hand, and she takes out of her pocket like a few coins, and it just starts rotating around the black hole in her hand, and then she stops it and goes away, and you see him like, oh, my son would have loved that. I always said in another life I should have pursued the arcane. Oh. Wow.
All right, who hasn't signed yet?
Oh.
Anfrith, sign this paper.
I haven't fucking signed it because you keep taking the fucking pen.
I will hand the pen to my
In the
brother.
background, like every time the pen just kept going out of Anford's hand.
I sign it after Faith gives it to me.
You see Talon, he signs it immediately, like he goes over to this press, and he's like, "Ba-da!" And he makes that noise. And it comes back to you, and there's like a bunch of copies, and it's like instantly lacquered and sealed as he brings it over, and he goes, all right, and one more thing, you see him take some powder, and he pours the powder on, and he goes, pulls out a hair, and as the powder blows off, he shakes out the contract, and you see as he's shaking it, a copy comes off, and then another copy comes off, and then a fourth copy comes off, and you see him goes, all right, here you are. 2 for you, 2 for me.
Awesome.
Grab the
Case
contract
one
and
gets
talk to them.
destroyed, you have the second one, so you can show anybody. If they give you any business, you let them know. Your official merchant business. Maybe don't mention the Blaze Syndicate.
Will do.
Very good, you guys are all so nice. God, I'm going to have to send a wonderful potion to Sizzle. She always fixes everything right up for me. He goes over to a corner and starts grinding up some leaves, and all of a sudden he just spits in that, and he's like, oh, I know. He reaches over, and you can see this little animal in his hands. It looks like a real fucked up looking frog, and he just squeezes it, and the thing goes like, and just spits in there, and he puts the frog back into whatever the fuck it was in, some sort of aquarium. And he's as happy as a clam, completely gone to what you guys are doing inside his shop now.
All right.
So I guess we should get ready to get on our way. I mean, do we want to leave first light at the end of the day? What would be the best time to travel?
Probably don't want to do too much traveling at night, being on top of a mountain.
Well,
wanna
actually,
step
I
on
mean,
it? Well,
that
actually,
was
the-
that was the idea with Autumn, wasn't it?
Oh, you see Autumn
Yeah.
be like,
Oh, right.
you know what? Let me buy some clothes. I'll go find something in the market to bundle myself up in an umbrella, and I should be fine.
Okay, just don't get overheated. We don't need heat stroke on top of 200 years of not eating properly.
Heat stroke doesn't really apply to me.
Okay, that's convenient.
Jeez, undead. Yeah, if any of you have touched Bailey at any point, she's always ice cold.
Autumn?
Autumn, thank you, not Bailey. That'd be awful. Boy, check on that. Check on Bailey.
She has low iron.
This whole time.
That's poor circulation, guys. Come on.
It's the elevation.
You see Bailey has got 2 strange holes in her neck and is suddenly pale. That's weird.
How'd that happen?
Autumn!
Too long.
All right, so what do you guys want to do?
Probably, is he supplying the cart and the horses with the shed in the contract? That probably was in the contract.
It was in the contract, but he just went on with his day. What are you gonna do?
What items are we doing?
So we have to
It's
bring
in the contract.
yeah. So I'll ask Talon, where are the supplies that you need brought? We can sequester a cart if we need to and get everything loaded up.
What?
Where is all the supplies that you would like us to bring?
Oh yeah, of course, the job. As he puts all the stuff down and gets back up. He goes over into the back storage area and he starts. And all of a sudden you see him, you hear a and a bunch of crash and goes, and you see him walk behind another place and all of a sudden you hear this like, as he has a dolly and he starts bringing up a whole bunch of packages around and they're just wooden crates full of stuff, bottles, assortments, and all sorts of things. He goes, also in that contract, for some of this stuff is for trade with the other Rumble merchants that are waiting in the marketplace. So make sure that those boxes come back to me with the money for whoever you're going to send back with your friend Clay or whatever it is. I have notes. The instructions are in there in duplicate, so you'll be fine. This is the first of 18 packages, so I need some help. So there's 3 times 18, and then we're gonna wheel these down. We gotta go to the elevator and then bring them down, and I'll put them on the caravan. But I have horses and a very big merchant for you, so you will be able to use that and travel through the lands. And
I know just the guys to help you with those packages.
I can do it.
Yep.
so you guys are easy enough to do it over the next 3 hours to move all the packages and stack them properly into the wagon. It is very small of the wagon itself because it's normally for him, and he clearly doesn't think or care about anybody else that he constantly sends on these because he hardly even ever goes. But it's still the same size. He's got 4 horses here, so there's enough feed and all that's taken care of as well because it's so heavy. You guys can obviously try and find room to either sleep on top of all the packages that are stacked high. There's barely any clearance, or try and all share. It's only 6 feet long, where you guys can sit with the reins. So that might be packed with 8 people. So you're gonna have to be creative.
I could probably squeeze in with the supplies, find a little hole somewhere.
No, certainly a little hobbit hole.
Maybe we could just take shifts, not just walking or riding the horses. I don't know.
Can you hang on the back garbage
I
man
don't think
style?
we're gonna be in a very we're not gonna be in a oh god, my mind's going blank.
We're not in a rush. Is that
Yeah,
what you're getting at?
we're not gonna be at a fast pace. with
We're
all
not
this
sprinting
gear.
there.
Yeah, so I can hang on the back and maybe keep an eye out for any potential problems.
Yeah.
So
All right, so that stuff's set, but you guys still have they come back. You guys stocking and everything. It's ready for you to leave in the next day. What else do you guys want to do though? You don't have to exit the city. Autumn has to borrow some of your money. Could someone give her 2 gold pieces to?
I'll give her
I got that.
gold.
I'll give her the money.
I already did it.
Nope.
Ah! Too quick.
+1 friendship with Autumn and for
He's a better simp than I am.
He has too many points already.
gain the favor. He has too many
It
points.
goes negative like Gandhi and Civ.
Yeah.
How she hates me.
See, I told you, Ryan, I'm not a liar. Ryan had no idea that was the origin this weekend, and then I explained it to him. He's like, "Oh, that's really cool."
I didn't know that was a thing with Gandhi.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
wonderful. And now you just confirmed I'm not a liar. That's the best kind. Oh, I love it when that happens. No, Mom, I swear. Anyway. So what do you guys want to do in Dustlight?
so do we?
Sunspot, not Dustlight. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like,
Say,
what?
that would be a very
That's
bad
where I
first
am
step.
right now. I don't know about you, but I'm in Dustlight. Thinking about all the fun things we could have been doing there instead of you avoiding any plot hooks.
I would imagine that it would be wise for us to guard the caravan for the evening, probably post up, maybe camp.
Oh, no, you don't have to. Trust me.
Oh, no?
No. Nobody's fucking with merchant stuff. Absolutely
Okay.
not. Especially their own Blaze Syndicate merchants. No way.
Okay. Well, then we should at least have somebody stay up so we don't get abducted again tonight. We can rotate some shifts, take guard.
Do you wanna? Should we talk to Sizzle about that?
Why would you not tell her? I was curious as to your decision there.
I just don't want to really get into it. I'm not trying to take any sides or anything like that.
But we do want to take sides. I just want them to taste the dirt so bad.
You
Maybe
hear
you
Autumn
do.
right behind you, Anforth, who you didn't like. She's so quiet. One of her passive traits is she doesn't make sound when she walks. And right behind her, you just hear her go, "I want blood."
Wait. Also, we should probably have given the rock blood to.
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
You did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't have to roleplay her slurping blood, being like, "Hey guys, stop fucking looking at me." Fucking judgmental.
Jeez, do you need like a tankard or something? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Ganu's definitely fascinated and is like,
Yep. She just like, yeah.
Yo, that's sick.
This is pretty embarrassing, and the normally like utensils and apparatuses we have at home make it way less weird than this, but like.
Fascinating.
It's all over her face, and she's just like wiping it, but then still eating it.
I mean, do we want to just leave this evening? Do we want to leave first thing in the morning?
I think first light is our best call.
I mean,
Wanted to
if you
go.
guys want to tell Sizzle, that's fine by me, but I just wasn't trying to get into any debates or anything like that.
I can talk to her if you.
I'm
would,
sure it happens all the time, so I wasn't bothered. I wasn't, whatever.
All right, so you want to go tell Sizzle?
Yeah. However, can we take our break now? Because my bladder is about to explode.
Fuck you. Absolutely not. We gotta figure out what happens with Sizzle. It's essential to my. Yeah, okay, just take a breath. I don't care.
Thank you.
I don't
All
care.
right.
It's a break time.
Fuck
It's
your
supposed to be a
bladder.
break time anyway. It's for 2 hours. We return to your group. You are going to tell Sizzle something so important that you it couldn't wait for break, but you assured me that it could not wait, so we had to go to break. So now the thrilling, epic conclusion of talking to Sizzle starts
So,
now.
It's we did find work thanks to your suggestion, which I'm very appreciative.
It's a face made for face.
I noticed Anforth was acting a bit strange earlier. Truth be told, last night was not great.
Oh,
We were actually abducted in the middle of the night. There were some
is
folks
Anford
who...
with the group right now? Is he there with the group? Did everybody go, or just Matthias?
I would have
Yeah,
gone...
everybody went, but I wasn't intending to. But
Yeah, I would have
Oh, yeah.
waited
Yeah.
until people kind of like disseminated, and then I would go up to her.
Okay.
Just kind of as an aside and say...
Because you
I
have to
don't-
go to her. She's not waiting in your tavern or anything.
Right,
so, like,
yeah. Yeah. I seek her out
Yes.
independently.
Where she
Let
told
her
you
know.
she could be found. Yep, and you're there.
Yeah, we were abducted in the middle of the night. There were some folks that bore the symbol of Pyrock, and they had this very odd, threatening, cultisty vibe, and they asked us if we had any affiliation with the Obsidian Syndicate, which we don't. And they had us tied up, and they booted us off the edge just to try and intimidate us, get us to get out of town or something. I don't know what we did to provoke them, but truth be told, I would absolutely love to deal with them. I just thought you should know that since you're the authority for the Syndicate, or at least a representative of the Syndicate, which is the authority in this town, I believe, if I understand properly. And Anforth just didn't want to stir up any trouble, but I think you should know that.
When I ask you a question, you tell me the truth. Okay?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I mean.
You can lie to other people. Don't lie to me. They call me the fixer in this town. I fix things. Thank you for telling me now, and we're gonna fix some things. This is a concern. Stay here. Give me a second. She disappears. Is anybody else with Matthias?
Probably not.
You just let him go by himself. What a good group.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. How did Matthias
Faith, you're
bring it up?
muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Hunter,
You're muted.
Hunter!
you're muted.
Is he
Hunter!
deafened too? Could be.
I said if anybody else chose not to and he started wandering on his own, I would have gone with him.
Okay, so it's Faith and Matthias. Okay.
Thank you.
5 minutes go by. 10 minutes go by. Starting to get a little awkward as you're just kind of like standing in this like little reception area. There's some couches in here, fires and torches, chilled out incense burning inside here. This is like her meeting room into the area in one of the more defined capital buildings for this city.
I think she meant wait here? Like, were we supposed to follow her?
I think
or-
we should just wait here.
And then
Okay.
you feel behind the two of you, arms wrapping around you, and a head goes between the two of you. And you see Ala Blaze right in between the two of you going, now, that sounds like... No, it was... Now that sounds like a problem you two experienced last night. His arms literally are hanging so far down, the two of you guys as well. Like, his knuckles are scraping against the floor. But he's not putting all of his weight on the two of you. Give me 1 second. Okay. As he sits between the two of you, all of his jewelry hanging down, piercings, you can feel the heat of this man, and shirtless, his sweat, water, oil is definitely getting onto the two of you, but he smells beautiful. This guy's got a fragrance to him that you just like instantly like, you know, I'm not that upset about what he's doing right now. I just hope this isn't oil and it doesn't stain. As he leans in, he goes, so you said they were Pyrock symbology, you know, big fire flame masks?
Yeah, they wore masks to hide their faces.
Don't like that. Okay, tell you what, whatever you're doing, stop. And I need you to do something for me now. This is an issue. This is a issue that keeps popping up, and I don't like it one bit. I don't like this. There is something going on in my city that I don't know about anymore. Go get your friends and bring them back here, and we're all gonna have a conversation. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. You see smile and he goes, gives you pats on the side. Sizzle comes back out of the entrance and she sees Ala Blaze here and she's like, what the fuck? And you see Ala Blaze like, as he then goes past her back down the hallway and she's like, she punches him in the side and he doesn't react. And you see a look to your group. Go get your friends. We need to talk.
Yep, nope, we got the gist of
It's
that.
like power walk through the city back to
All right. You guys come upon your group as all of you guys are all ready to leave the city and do whatever you want to do.
All of our plans mean nothing. Let's go.
We're gonna have a slight delay in the plans.
Oh God, what happened now?
No.
I told on you.
The big
What?
guy, Ala Blaze, wants to see all of us right now.
Oh,
that guy's
I was
awesome.
playing another game?
No.
Ooh! I hope so.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
No?
We
He
told him about.
he wants us to help fix the thing with the people from last night.
I really wanted to stay out of trouble.
Same.
Just think, you'll be helping out so many wayward travelers by
Yes, or
fixing this now, so that they don't have to deal with it.
or
You're really
perhaps
being the hero
not.
in this
All
situation.
the wayward travelers, all the way up in these mountain peaks. Yep. All of them.
We got here. Surely other people must too.
By magical means, yes.
Well,
Whatever. Let's
regardless,
go. We don't have a
yeah.
choice.
But what about the other job?
It'll just be postponed.
It'll have to wait.
That's gonna have to be on hold for a bit.
It's just gonna leave the wagon here.
I mean, they said it was
It's
safe.
at the bottom. It's sitting at the bottom, ready to
I know.
depart. Yeah.
They
Nope.
said it was safe.
No one's fucking with that.
For days.
Are there like guards there too? Like there's guards of the city right outside.
Yeah, I mean the guards are right next to it in that sense, yeah, but they're not like it's not their job to
Right,
protect
yeah.
it, but they're also if somebody comes up to it, they're gonna be like merchant, and if someone keeps going, they're gonna be like, "Are you dumb? I just said merchant," and that sort of stuff would
It's
be
just that
going
there's
on.
somebody there. Like nobody
Yeah.
can just like sneak on without anybody seeing it. So,
No, they'd have to kill a bunch of like official syndicate guards and then steal a merchant wagon, which as like if you were from Rumble you would understand what I'm saying is like I'm just kill a couple CIA agents and then steal the president's limo and then like there's no consequences.
All right. I mean,
We make our way back to the Capitol building.
Okay, do you want to take the other 3 with you or no?
Let's not take them with us.
Okay. As you guys come back to the Capitol building, Sizzle this time ushers you into a different room. We're not going to the throne room. You end up going into a bunch of private rooms, and they start taking you through all these different like curving entrances to a stone cavern behind. Where the throne room is, and you start going to these lifts, and you're going up lifts and down and changing lifts, and then eventually at one point you go up, and you all go to get out like you're used to, and Sizzle goes like, no, and you just stand there, and then she goes back down one, and then you guys go to whatever that level was, like whatever, no idea what the hell's going on. And finally you guys find yourselves as you sit down in another one of these rooms with all these lavish pillows, special lighting where all the lights are like purple flames. They're burning some sort of chemical in them for that effect. Essences all over, all this tapestry and sheets everywhere. Just as you guys get settled, then you just notice Ella Blaze is in the room again. For someone who is so massive, he is extremely light on his feet. He's sitting there, lying down and eating grapes, just putting them into his mouth as he looks to your group and goes... And he just throws that shit into a can made of gold. And he looks at you guys and goes... I like people who don't waste my time. I appreciate you coming immediately like I asked. This is not a fun experience that I've been having, and I've been having this experience more than once. I've lost a couple people lately, over the past couple months, to these cultists, this Pyrock faces, these pieces of shit. And I don't like it one bit. I don't know what they're after. I don't know why they're trying to undermine people inside here. So I want you to walk me through what happened to you that night, and we're gonna figure something out. And you help me, and I'll happily help you with whatever you need. Nothing's without my reach.
I'll look to the others, and I'll just go into as accurate of a retelling of what happened. Being woken up in the middle of the night, being brought to that one peak above the blaze fields.
Sizzle's in the room, and there's like 2 or 3 other Earth Ganassi in there. One is just like holding
Earth
an
or
orb.
fire?
I meant fire. Thank you very much, Fire Ganassi. No, Earth would be
I was
really
like, wow, cool.
That'd be very strange. Fire Ganassi. And you can see one figure in cloaked robes, but you can clearly see, and it's brown. And you can clearly see their face underneath. They appear to be of drow skin.
And I will add, I don't know if it's relevant, but around town we have noticed, and I'll tell them about like the groups of robed figures in the bar, on the streets. I don't know if that's connected, but it was a strange circumstance compared to the culture of this town.
We haven't heard any sightings like that, but now we have, so that's important. And these prior occasions, there hasn't been any sightings or spottings, but maybe they're changing their tactics or doing something new. Whatever it is, my people will not be intimidated, and we're not going to play their games, not one bit. He's got every time he's like shaking his fingers, you see all this glistening of all the gemstone rings he has on his fingers, all gold encrusted, polished beautifully. First off, I'm sorry, as he looks towards you, Sho, and he goes, alright, so we don't, as much as we might have our issues, alright, we're not monsters here, and we all tolerate one another, even if we disagree. For your troubles, as he reaches over and he just throws a bag of money at your feet, and he goes, it is just to ease things a bit.
I think completion of the job probably ease me more than a pile of cash.
Oh, no, that comes too with the completion of the job and more where that comes from. It's just, I run a cleaner establishment than what I'm seeing here. And unfortunately, actually, I think we're gonna need you, Sho, to lure them out.
I would be surprised. Sure.
Wait.
Can you guarantee my safety?
Nobody can guarantee anybody's safety in this world, but if you're an ally of me, you're going to be as safe as they come, I would say. Sizzle, tonight, normal showings? She nods. This would be a good opportunity. You said they told you don't make any rumblings, no stirrings, no...
Yeah, they
Don't make a show.
basically threatened us to stay in line with a very vague definition of what they call in line.
Inside this room are people I trust with my life and utter strangers I have just met. But I am worried there is spies within my network, and not the normal Ganassi spies of the other cultures. This runs deeper to these Pyrock-wearing nut jobs. So I think it's a perfect opportunity for the two of us. I know just enough about you to get a good sense that you play my games. We can work with one another. We have a game and a showings here that people love to go see. I think what would be a good idea is to go to this event. They call it the Burning. It's a lovely music, great display. You probably don't have to participate, but make a scene. Go crazy, get a little too drunk, but not really too drunk. You know what? And he motions over to one of the people, and they look at him, and he goes, greater. And they hand him a bottle, and he hands over, goes, get drunk, then drink this. And he hands over, you guys can add a bottle of Greater Restoration to your inventory. A potion of Greater Restoration. He goes, make a seed if you can, but the way the game works is, there is a, are you familiar? I don't want to patronize you. Are you familiar with the snake's bite?
Should we roll?
I would say Sho and Ganu can roll.
Okay.
Nope.
What are we rolling? I missed that.
I'd say history, if you remember it, and Rumble, if they ever talked about the snake's bite.
Yeah, it's a 3.
21.
21. You had a different game that was like talk to be like you heard snakes bite, but it's a little like the Earth Ganassi version is normally a rockfall, is what they call it. It's normally a game of basically like a version of slaps, but to an extreme. He looks to the group though and sees a bunch of empty faces and goes, all right, long short of it, couple people face off, group, whoever wants to volunteer, they all put some money in, they win a pot of gold pieces. If you go with the spear, you throw down range, that determines how many bites your opponent has to take from one of our more venomous snakes that we have up here. Last one standing gets all the gold. Some die, but we have a cleric on call for these events. It leads to the excitement, and we have plenty of diamond reserves here, so nothing to worry about. But I don't know if you partake in this. I don't know if any of you are immune to poison. Would be a easy way to win the game.
It might be more prudent to not participate if we find ourselves in a potential scuffle.
Oh,
like
I
we
count
did.
on it. I count on you being in a scuffle. I want you, afterwards, you throw a big hubbub. These sound like cowards to me. They're gonna wait till everybody goes away and come after you again. And when they do, you just give me a little sign, a little symbol. I'll be around. I'll be taking care of things and making sure everything's going fine, but you give me a symbol or two. Be creative, use fire, and I will, I'll be there to make sure this, we get to the bottom. What I'm really care about the most, though, is because if I just show up, they're gonna run. They're always run. I need one of them alive. I gotta figure out what's going on here and put an end to it. And
I think I can take care of the signal.
terrific.
And Annafirth and I have some experience creating a hubbub already. I think we can probably manage that again. What do you think?
Apparently, giving a high five is a little bit much.
Well, this sounds good. What would you like in exchange? You've helped me. What would you like back?
Maybe guidance on the safest passage to the gravel market.
Certainly.
We're doing a job for that alchemist Talon to try and, as we mentioned, we're a bit displaced, so we're trying to make our way back northeasternwards, and this is our best bet to try and secure maybe a safer passage in that direction. So, but we're not quite the most familiar with the lands.
Also, as a part of that job, we would have to orchestrate means to get Talon's earnings back to him. If we could have somebody potentially to tag along to be a courier for us, that would be most advantageous for us.
Absolutely. No, not a problem. I'll have someone come and join you on your mission. I'll have them saddle up so they can get here in due time. Getting to the that market. You've got the makings of a pretty safe journey as it is. I'll just make sure you go properly armed. If somebody gives you trouble, I have a couple gifts for you to use, and that should ward anybody off. Some might call them relics. I find them very useful.
I assume the person you're going to send with us is well acquainted with the area as well.
Oh, of course. I have many people traveling these lands, keeping me in the know. Send you with one of my best rangers.
I don't really want to pry, but do you have anybody that could send a message for us?
Easily. Not the problem.
My sister here and I have been away, whisked away from our hometown, and we'd like to just send a message to our parents to tell them that we're safe for now and not dead in a ditch somewhere.
Certainly. He waves to the individual that is holding that orb up, and he gives her a little wave, and she walks over to you guys, and she sits down next to you and gives you a look and goes, let me look up the sending spell just to make sure.
25 words.
Yeah, but they don't need to know anything about him?
They do need
They
to
need the
know the
name.
person.
Right.
I think they need to know their name, and they need to have a visual idea of who they are,
Let's see if there's...
so that they can picture them in their mind.
Which you are familiar with.
Yeah.
So she comes over and says, could you describe who you would like me to send the message to or draw out? Or do you have any illusionary magic?
Also, our father is actually Johann Everfall. He's the leader of the merchant district in Ashaya. So if you can reach anybody higher up in Ashaya who can pass it along, that would be reliable enough.
And she goes and nods, and she goes... She looks over towards Ella Blaze, and Ella Blaze raises an eyebrow, and she goes, I believe Windlegs is in control of that section?
We know Windlegs well, and he knows our father. He can pass on the message.
Easily. I can send that. What would you like me to say to him?
Dave?
Oh god, the spells. I've read about it. It's not terribly comprehensive. Faith and Annafirth are alive. The Pirate King's crystal teleported us to Rumble. We are making our way home.
She says that exact message to Laren. Laren responds. She says a little something privately to Ella Blaze. Ella Blaze nods, and she looks to you guys, and she goes, he says he'll let your parents know that you're all right and on your way home.
All right. Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
that.
You see Ella Blaze just give this look of like, no need for thanks. And he goes, have fun. In the meantime, at the events, have a blast at the burning, and we'll certainly have a blast afterwards, that's for sure.
DM question.
Yes.
Did he give us like the timing of when it was going to occur? Is that tonight?
Oh yeah, tonight. So basically, the next, like, the event's just ongoing for the next 7 hours. It's like it's like 6 p.m. now at this point. Between what your day was, you woke up at 1, so it's like 6 p.m. This ends normally around 1 a.m. in the morning.
Just for your own sake, as Annafith, or Faith, talking to Alablaze, what I just looked for this, and I cast a minor illusion of a flaming version of the symbol of Pyrock I noticed from the mask.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll put that in the sky directly above where we are.
Very good. I will see you tonight.
I guess we make our way.
I'm gonna pick up the bag of coins that you threw at us.
You can add 250 gold pieces to your inventory.
Oh yeah. Take that.
I guess we
Asho.
should be on our
We're
way
going
then.
back to the store.
You again? What the? Where do you keep getting this money?
On the side of the road.
On the side of the road.
I don't know how much high quality inks and paper is gonna be in a town like
Rumble.
Bonfire.
Yeah, right. No, I'm not buying it here. Don't worry.
Or Sunspot.
Good old Sunspot.
Ryan, you're muted.
All right. So are we going now? What's
I mean, I feel fine. I don't think we need to rest or anything. I think we can just.
ready to
Go
go?
party?
We should go.
So for the hubbub, should I punch Anna first? Should Anna first punch me? Should we punch somebody
Well,
else?
Include show is the idea. You
I
gotta
had
make
it.
sure.
I had a thought. Show, if you hold onto that potion, I believe he mentioned it was a restoration potion, which means if you drink it, it should get rid of the effects of being drunk.
Right.
Mhm. That's how I roll.
So if you get very drunk and act like you lost a bet to one of these two and make a big scene trying to get into a fight with them, it'll look bad because you're an Earth Genasi attacking somewhat respected newcomers. I imagine people, at least from the bar, would recognize these two from having their big first experiences.
We made some friends.
So
I'll need some goading. I'm not the best actor.
If you act like they took a bunch of money from you, I guess, then
What if I do it the other way, and if I act for show, he just stands there and I say, "What the fuck are you doing, you stupid Earth Ganassi? Give me my fucking money back, I want it fair and square."
Yeah, that might be better.
You all instantly feel really mad at Cho, and you're like, this gorgeous human being. How could you steal from him? Are you kidding? Oh, jeez. Wow, that bias is super strong. Whoa. Wow. He is
How
so
could you steal
persuasive.
from someone so beautiful?
What did he do to you?
Anyway, that way, show can just kind of stand there and take it. But it'll still be a problem for all the people around. If
We
that's
can
okay
still,
with
we
you,
can
Joe.
still we can still get drunk though, right?
I mean, you're getting drunk.
You
at
are, right?
least.
Sweet.
Or whoever's
Maybe
getting.
that'll help you.
I think we should probably only have one person get actually drunk because we just have the one potion.
I'm planning on sticking to the outsides and kind of observing. I'll try and stay hidden so I can keep a sharp eye out. See if anyone's approaching and let you know when to get the signal.
I mean, we could let Annafirth get very drunk and then he could put on a better show.
I'm not opposed to that. Drunk Firth is very fun.
Whatever show would like. I don't want to put him in
I mean,
a bad spot. Maybe drinking would help
People
him.
here, they don't like Earth Ganassi, right? So maybe
There it is.
would it?
At least it's a little bit more reservation towards them, I would imagine.
Yeah. So would they be more upset with super drunk Earth Ganassi causing problems?
Maybe.
Yeah. I might need a drink or two to take the edge off being the bait.
Hmm.
I think that's the best idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
And then,
you've experienced the people are not hyper racist to like Earth Ganassi. You've seen like Cho's been walking around, and in normal daylight, people don't care. Like for the most part,
But the Pyrock
No.
people
They
did that.
but the
fucking
pirate people,
cared.
they cared. They
cared
super
a
cared.
lot.
Yeah.
They were definitely not a fan, and even when he proved in a circle of truth on him that he failed, that he had nothing to do with the syndicate, they still were finding ways to put him down and not believe him.
And I'm half human.
Yeah,
Oh,
God knows
All
if
right.
he was full.
So you guys all have an argument. What should I be doing? Should I come in?
You can do whatever you want.
I mean, you could just maybe back up Annafirth.
Sure.
I think if you do whatever you want, it'll make it more believable.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll just play it. I'll just do whatever comes to my head first.
Hey,
Yeah.
you can be my hype man.
Yes. Ooh. Walk behind you. Oh, you better give him back his money. Oh
You
man.
hear that?
Oh no.
Hold me back. Hold me back.
oh, you be careful. He's gonna get you.
As you guys are all like doing this just outside, like two doors from where the whole meeting was happening. Like they told you to wait because they still got to escort you back out through all the elevators and everything. But you're actually, as you're doing that right now, you see Ala Blaze, like he's crunched down and here it's super tiny, all this stuff, and he's just turning the corner as he's putting a grape in his mouth. And he just gives you guys a nod and slunks down. But as you look at him, you can hear the footsteps now. Weird guy.
That guy's so awesome.
Hey.
All right, I think we got it.
I think we've got at least some idea of a plan.
And
So
Matthias and
excited.
Faith, you'll stand on a little away from us then.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna stay a little bit a ways from. the
Maybe keep an
commotion.
eye out for any shady.
Maybe I'll just stick with Matthias and stand some distance away.
Please try to stick together. Don't get separated.
So are we going to the burning?
We're going to the burning.
Yes.
Are you
also,
gonna
go
fill in
burning.
the other three, and are you gonna bring the other three?
Does
We are not gonna bring the other three.
You don't have to bring all the other three.
But
It's just
I
not-
mean,
it's not a
Autumn
complete-
wants some blood, though.
We can run it by them if they want.
I'm gonna ask if they want to join us.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys get escorted out of the Capitol building. You go back to the inn. You see the inn tavern keep like, hey, you gonna take my job?
Maybe one day.
We're still deciding, right?
No,
well,
pretty decided. I think.
yeah, I think we got a better offer, unfortunately for you.
No worries, understandable. That's the game, the world we live in. You know, supply, demand, and all.
Another time though.
No.
Who has the health potions? We have 4 health potions, right?
You better deal those out.
I would not mind taking one.
These are normal health potions, right?
Yep, just normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I will take one.
I don't need one for now.
I guess I'll take one just in case.
Yeah, and then I guess I'll take one since Annafirth doesn't.
Boarding, thank God.
Well done, squad. Well done.
While we are making our way over
Ciao.
to the burning,
Yes.
sometime as we're meandering over, I would just like to talk to Annafirth and Faith and just say, it's a funny coincidence. I didn't realize you all knew Windlegs.
Yeah, our father does a lot of business with really anybody in the city.
I mean,
Oh, sure.
yeah, he runs the majority of the Western Market District, so.
Me and him actually go way back. He's a benefactor of mine. He pays for a lot of my travels.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
What kind of travels do you do?
Oh, I'm a wanderer. I just go wherever the wind carries me. I don't put too much thought into it. I find that if I have too much of a plan, I wind up spoiling the fun.
That makes a lot of sense why you went back and told Sizzle then.
Yeah.
Quite the
well,
opposite. I'd prefer the plan, at least specifically when my sister here is possibly in danger.
Well, we'll do our best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Hey, well, I'd appreciate that.
I think we'll be fine. I think this plan works out better.
Anforth's gaze of disappointment is so intense
Oh,
because it's
God,
reinforced
I
by his
didn't- I
beauty.
just wanted to make small talk. Oh.
And instead, you've disappointed the best looking person in this party.
Are you kidding? This is gonna be so much fun. Like, just drawing out some shady, culty people and bringing them to justice.
This is a sting operation.
Exactly. We're doing a sting.
So when you go into approach, Bailey, Jacques, and
Autumn.
Autumn, Jacques is like, "Oh, that seems a bit much for me. Autumn goes, I'm in.
Nice.
Bailey is sort of like back and forth, and then she's like, yeah, I'm in too. I'm in too.
Are you sure?
Yes. No one's gonna kick me over the side of a cliff, and I'm not gonna have words with them.
It's probably going to be less words and more overt violence, just so you're prepared for that.
I am a quick study of overt violence in practice.
Just stick with me, Bailey, and I don't plan to be in the thick of it.
Right. Okay.
And if it comes to it, you can cower behind me.
I hope it doesn't
Be
come
careful.
to it.
Often the thick of it tends to come to you.
That is true.
Okay, so you guys heading over? I gotta change the music. Let's go. I've been saving this music since before campaign 1 started.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Can't hype us up like that.
I was like,
too much.
I'm like, I don't know how, but I need this music at some point. Like, this doesn't, you don't see by the label, doesn't even, I had no idea where I was going with this. But now it finally paid off.
Underground alien type boss fight?
Dark matter.
Oh, okay. I was like, hold on.
All right. As you guys get to the burning with Autumn and Bailey, the place is lit, and I want you to feel it. All around, there's all these drums that are all being smacked to a beat while there's a main crew singing on the front stage to some very tribal type of music that's going on. All the flames out here are all different colors, and some are higher or lower. You have people blowing fire out, almost like you would see at a carnival all around the place. People are slosh drunk. It's all opened, buildings are lined up into like a square that's open, but it is bowl shaped a little bit in the middle, plus a range where you have a bunch of targets set up, and you can see a bunch of Ganassis and one orc with them as they're all in the middle of the process. As all of a sudden you see a Ganassi tilting and just collapses, and everyone starts cheering, and they go, all right. And they start clearing out for the next round, and they're like, any new takers? Anybody else want in on the games? Anybody here want to take a burn? And then you see a bunch of people start cheering at that. Drinks are being passed out all around. It doesn't look like anyone's charging for drinks. People are just getting free drinks everywhere in this area. There's merchants set up also with little shops here for food, kind of like food trucks, but just marketplace all in the area. All sorts of amazing light displays. There's like floating light spells all throughout, specialized to different types of the individuals that are casting them. Different colorings and all that, greens and purples and reds. You could find in the back corner some people that look utterly bored out of their mind, cloaked in robes, that are just chilling there, just like hoping time will go by quick. And the place is popping. This is one of the many excitements that happens multiple times per week. As he's shouting out, you see one of them gets up, and using his thaumaturgy, he looks over and goes, You're fucking huge! Come here! And you see all these Ganassi turn and look towards Ganu as everybody starts going, and start cheering you on, and they're motion for you to come on up.
Okay.
All right, they pull you in. And Ganu, before you have a chance, they all rush him in. He's like, we got a new contender for the burn!
Oh, no.
And you see all the other guys going like, yeah, and spit down. As you can see, their spit has turned to like a bright green, and they come over now. It's like, fresh round, everybody, fresh blood. And drinks come up, and you see the other 3 contestants start drinking, and they crack on the ground. One just smashes the glass over his head, cutting himself, and he's like, yeah! He comes up and he's like, all right, everyone take your place. You see this very revealing outfit of one of the fire ganassi comes up and hands you a spear, giving you an eyebrow raise, hands it to you, Gano, and goes, good luck, big guy, as she gives you a spear. And walks away. He goes, all right, on my mark. And you see all the other guys wander up. All of them seem to have different form. One guy's got like this beautiful athletic form. You see another guy just like sort of like almost drunk fighting style, getting ready to do this weird twisting toss. You can see the orc that's still in. He's got this spear here and his hand behind it, and he's just gonna push that shit. Put it. It's 45 yards downrange. So, Ganu, what do you want to do? Well, actually, you're gonna have what do you want to do first?
Well, I gotta throw it, right?
Okay, so you're still in. Before you, okay, I just want to make sure in case I don't want to steal your agency away.
Oh no, I'm in.
He's in.
I'm so excited.
The rest
I just look at the group and I'm just like, what the fuck, guys?
You see everybody getting all excited, and behind you can start hearing the chanting starting to get higher and higher. Now I need you to make an attack roll, Ganu, throwing your spear.
Okay.
I believe it's just a straight attack roll.
I can look up a spear.
And a spear is probably just like plus.
Spear would be a strength.
Strength and proficiency.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have spear as a proficiency.
Then better.
Wait, how far is the distance?
45 yards, so that's
It'd
times
probably
3.
be because it's outside of the range, it would probably
For this game? Let's not worry about that.
Like, is everyone else throwing disadvantage?
No, and also the idea is too, like, it's downhill. They want it to go fast, so you're also getting an advantage of the way it's sloped. It's a show, all right? They put it as far as possible that normal people can hit it, so it looks way more impressive. But there's little tricks going on here. It's a syndicate. We've got a bunch of mobster stuff.
My roll plus my strength plus my proficiency.
Yep.
Is 21.
Oh! Nice. So you see, as these guys start, the first guy, the target itself is a massive, I believe it's 85% of it's white. Then the next center, about 10% of it, the next circle is blue, and the center circle is a red in the middle for only 5%. It is extremely difficult to get a bullseye. First guy hits the white, almost misses the mark completely. You see him laughing. The next guy hits it. He hits the white as well. The last guy, his goes off the mark, the orc, as he hits it so hard downhill, the thing just over the top of it goes to the back, and everybody starts going boo, boo, seeing him miss. They're like, that's all right, you're still getting one, as it's pointing over to the other person. And Ganu, you get up there and you just punch out through the dead center and just punch through all the hay and stuff that's stacked on the back of it. It hits with such force that a whole bunch of it falls over, and you see a bunch of people back there being like, I don't fucking, I just put that. And everyone else just starts going, oh!
And I go, yeah!
You see the one just to your left, because whenever you throw, they're throwing for the person to your left, how many times they get bit. And the Ganassi just stares over to you, and he's like, hey, mate, what's the deal?
They gave me the spear and told me to throw it.
Shit. All right. So, as all that's come through, now you start hearing everyone around you. They start banging just like the cups at the other bar, but this time it's not just cups. They have all these metal tips to the bottom of their knives, to the bottom of their spears, to the bottom of their shoes. This is a cultural phenomenon that you just are now very aware of. They all got steel-toed everything. What's going on? And you're hearing this clicking rhythm between everybody as now you're all come into the center, and you see all the guys putting their arms out and flexing as you have a couple people, one guy, and the snake is viciously
but before they start that,
yeah
just accepting the fate that has happened for this plan
Yes.
already, I'm just gonna yell out, wasn't that his first time throwing in the game?
Roll a persuasion check with advantage. And it's less persuasion and more a ignite the beacon check.
Well, that's a natural 20.
The beacon is lit!
A total 26.
You see, as they're coming up with all the snakes, all of a sudden your shout carries over, and as you go to yell, Bailey gives you a thaumaturgy, and it just echoes all the way throughout, and all the clicking stops for a second, and you see like the game master of this stops, the music stops.
Oh my god.
Wait, I'm gonna pause the music. You see the game master stop, and all the snakes are coming up, and he goes, "Hey, stop! And then all the people pull it back. There's a couple that, like, the snake is literally just, like, chilling around their neck, and they're like, while other ones are fighting with their snakes and shit. And you see he comes up, and you see all the other guys looking at you, and he comes up to you, and he's looking up at you, Ganu. He's only about, like, 5'9", this one. And he goes up, and he goes, "Is what that last say is true? That was your first throw and your first time in the burn?"
Yeah.
He turns back, and you see he grabs whatever device he was using for the thaumaturgy, and he grips it with both hands and goes, "We got a new experience tonight!" And everyone, it doubles the sound and volume inside here. And with that, he goes, "You know what that means!" And, let me just play that again. The pot that you just now noticed in the beginning, all of a sudden coins just start getting thrown from everywhere. It is a hellfire of coins into the pot, as you see what clearly must be another anywhere from 500 to 1,000 gold gets thrown into the pot, that you're competing for right now, Ganu. It is just, but it's so sloppy. People are just chucking their coin purses and stuff. Some are chucking their beers and shit into it as well, as it just becomes this mess. You see just coins, glitter, alcohol flying through the air all towards the center. You're getting covered, and you're getting hit by coins, Ganu, and covered in alcohol right now, as the other guys are just like, "All right, let's go. They're all psyching themselves up. And he goes, "Let's make this a memory!" All the fire gets at least a foot higher. And you can see one of the clerics just is like, and just shoots off a fireball above everything as it explodes down. All the fire, like, crackles. A couple people get burned, and they take damage. They're used to it.
Right, they're resistant, probably.
No, well, yeah, actually, fire ganassi, good call. I need you to give me a con saving throw as all of them come up to you. This person seems so uninterested, and the snake around, and she just goes, and the snake's like, this older looking snake, like, it stabs into you, and you see it give it a little treat, and a live mouse, as it gives it, and then you see things like, immediately, and pets the head of it as it walks away. As some of the other ones are wrangling it in and just right to the arm.
First.
Yes.
Natural 20.
Oh my
Nice,
fucking
dude.
God.
Let's go.
Second, what type of snake is it?
The extremely venomous kind.
That's fine. As long we don't have to actually know, but like Gano would be like, what kind of snake are they using?
Okay, I would say I will look up snakes. And you will, I'll message you later. You know.
Yeah, it's not me. This was just a character moment where he would want to know.
Looking in, you recognize the species of snake that it is, and wouldn't luck have it, that is the same type of snake that grew in your forest. Like, you've been bitten by these many times, and you're basically immune like a Sicilian. You're set, dude.
Vino moose. Interesting.
All right, so. Okay. As the other guys, the first one gets bit, and you see him like, "Gah!" You get bit, and it just feels like you got bit. You can take. Actually, with that save and the, like the snake it was, you're not taking damage on this one.
Sweet.
Just kind of a cut. It's annoying. So that'll heal. The other guy, actually, I'll have to roll for them. Okay.
Was there anyone in the crowd that was visibly unpleased with the display?
No, you don't have to roll for that. Why would? Why?
Just
Crazy
seeing if
talk.
there was. I'm seeing if there was anyone in the crowd who was perhaps,
Oh no.
upset that this particular person was making a scene.
Oh no. Oh
Okay.
no, not popping his cherry and rumble. No, sir. The second one, you see as he gets bit, he's like, ah! Oh! The one he was getting really revved up for, he takes 2 steps and he goes, ah! And just face plants into the ground, completely unconscious. And you see the other guy being, and you see the orc being like, the orc actually had to be the first one. So the Ganassi that looks to you, just like, all right. The first bite, you see him. The second bite, just fuck. He falls to the ground. They still bring the snake up for the third bite. He's just on the ground unconscious as the
Do it
snake
again.
goes right into his neck. At that show, you can hear Autumn giggling to herself. 2 are already out as you see the other guy being like, oh, this is gonna be an easy pot. I guess it's just the orc that's left. Actually, both Ganassis went down.
Awesome.
So you see the orc going like, all right,
Okay,
big
orc.
man. All right, what's your name?
Gadu.
They call me Carver.
Carver. I like it.
I like Gadu. Best of luck. As he reaches out, he squeezes your arm, and both you squeeze like a bit arm side, and as you like squeeze harder, blood starts coming out a little faster. He puts his hand out. The ladies bring the spears again, and he comes up. Bailey's kind of looks over to you on the opposite side of show, and she's like, "Don't you think what they're wearing is a little too revealing? Is this culturally normal?" Last Star
cultures-
is far more conservative than Rumble.
It's I'd say par for the course around here. Just a bit different than home.
Very different from home.
Do you just like it?
I don't know.
Just enjoy the moment.
Yes, enjoy the moment. All right, on this one, I want everybody else to give me perception checks as Ganu's getting set up and the beats are picking up again as everyone's getting ready.
Before his throw, can I just grab some tankards and just kind of like?
Oh yeah, you could have been doing that before during the whole.
Oh, yeah,
show.
Yeah, but like before this throw in particular, I just want to cheer my buddy on.
Yes.
And sort of like maybe like put a foot up on like a stool or a table to give myself some more visibility, you know?
Give me a performance check.
Oh, I'm so good at that.
I was gonna grab like a single drink and then just like nurse it for the whole night.
Yeah,
so
that
it
was
looks
the
like I'm
plan.
participating, but I'm really not.
Yeah, same.
12.
Okay. All right. You feel pretty comfortable with what you're throwing down and the vibes you're giving off. Then everybody give me perception checks. Bailey's already halfway through her pint.
Let's go, Bailey!
I'm just gonna grab
Yeah.
Bailey and move her towards me and be like, hang on a second.
Okay. Sorry, I got an idea that I'm definitely doing now. That's gonna be fun. Anyway, where were we? Autumn is not
Perception
partaking.
checks.
Yes, perception checks. What'd you guys give me? Give me perception checks.
17.
14, 17. What else?
11.
11. Ganu. Oh, no, not Ganu. No, you're in the zone.
I'm ready to go.
Nice. For my 2, Autumn and Bailey. And Cho, what'd you get for your perception check?
11.
11. Okay, so 17. Matthias, you're the only one to pick up on as as Sho begins to make himself comfortable at home, you can see a couple people just being like, "Hey, asshole," as they're walking away from the area. But you see in particular a couple people that are just sort of hanging out by one of the food trucks, kind of looking at him, and they look a little more unhappy at such a display compared to some of the other people that are just like, it's whatever, this shit happens. Or another guy seems to be get up in his britches. But behind him, you also see, once again, leaning against the wall, nursing some drink, gloved hands, somebody in that familiar cloak from the tavern is sitting there and looks like, again, it's like making direct eye contact with you. But there's no eyes to make eye contact with, so it's weird.
Okay. I would like to vanish into the crowd and then subtly point out to my allies who aren't in the spotlight exactly who I just saw.
Sure. Give me a stealth check.
Got you.
Ganu, roll for attack!
25.
You disappear with elegance and grace. She's Miss United States. As you go throughout into your group, as you get back with them, you point out to the first guy who seems now to be talking to another person, and you go point out the hooded figure, they're gone.
I'm letting Annafirth know. He's definitely here. Make sure that you guys are eyes on Sho. Anyone approaches him, just be ready.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing right next to
Ryan,
Sho,
you're
like,
smiling. No.
That is a 24.
Let's
I rolled
go.
a 19.
It's gonna cheer him on easy.
He's nuts.
They change out the roll, the targets behind. Oh man, the orc again's like, I'm gonna miss twice, and he hits it this time, but hits only the white. You put another dead bullseye through, and you see like, Ganu, is this really your first time?
No!
My first time here.
Shit! As you see everyone go wild with 2 bullseyes in a row, you see more coins just start getting thrown into the pot, and you see him going like, come on. The snake's coming up to you, and it's a different snake. He's getting the old snake, and you seem to be getting one of the feistier snakes. I need you to give me a con saving throw. He has to make 3.
Yes.
Letting Faith know about the food truck folks.
Constitution.
I will
18.
just hold on to Bailey, and we'll try to stick close to you.
Okay, the 3 of
With
you
a little bit of distance to Annafirth and Sho.
are staying together, and as this individual goes, and this old snake goes into him, he's like, well, that old timer's got nothing on me, and then bites him again. He's like, oh, well, the other arm. And then the snake comes over and bites him the third time. They're like, all right. And he is fucking moving back and forth and dizzy. You take 1 point of damage, but you're all right, man. Things are going real well for you with those rolls.
Feeling good.
This is a native snake to your area, so like this ain't nothing, bro. Give me another attack roll during this round. Is there anything else you guys want to do during the next throw?
I'm just gonna whisper to Sho. Do you think we should wait until these festivities end? It's not like they're gonna come out here anyway while everybody's doing this. I don't really want to start anything, especially with Ganu away from us.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing here and try to just get as much attention on us as possible, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and, because I saw him vanish, I have somewhat of an idea. Like he's probably not making his move right now. He's probably going to get reinforcements. So I want to try and get to, like, I'll stand up on a table or like get on top of a truck or something, and like, or food truck, whatever, and like act real boisterous, drunk, but I'm actually just trying to look and see if I can spot any shady figures gathering together.
Performance check, perception check.
Gotcha. Performance is a 10, so that's fine. Perception is a 13.
Yeah, you're fitting it easily. I mean, you don't have to try real hard to fit in with this crowd right now. You get up top and you see a bunch of people like, ah! And one person comes up, takes one of those flaming shots, but it's like a bottle of it, and through the fire, he's spraying up all sorts of alcohol onto you, which you're like, you're on fire, but it's not burning you. And you're like, I don't understand what's going on. You're okay. You're okay. But they're like, ah! And cracks it over his head, and the other person just like, ah! Burn! Ganu, you hear next to you, you hear, come on, Carver. Come on, don't mess this one up. You got 3 in you. Back over to Matthias, looking around, the individual that was angry at the food cart prior, he doesn't seem to be there anymore, and there doesn't seem to be any shady figures at this time with that. Just people going nuts and having fun. I mean, there's people making out. There's people dancing like crazy. The music's blasting. It's just an absolute mosh pit of burning. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Ganu, what'd you roll for your attack roll?
16.
Natural 1.
Let's go.
As he goes to throw it, it's that classic when you go to throw a baseball and it goes behind you, just slips out of your hand, spear goes the wrong direction, and he falls forward and hits the ground.
Do a 360.
Yep, and then you see a bunch of people be like, oh! As he's down on the ground, he's like, oh no, Carver. Oh no, buddy. Oh, they were right tonight. Again, what'd you roll?
16.
Oh, okay. I misheard you the first time. 16. You hit the 2 into the target as it deadens in, and everyone's like, oh, no. They were hoping for a perfect night. Regardless, they come back over and they're like, all right, 1 for Ganu, 2 for Carver. You see Carver getting up the ground. He's like, 1 for Carver. And they're like, 2 for Carver. He's like, no, shit. Oh, shit. Bite 2 into Carver, and the first one goes in, he's like, oh. And then one goes in his neck, and as it hits his neck, he immediately reacts. Boom! And everyone just like, he's down. Let's go. They're all waiting for the cheer. And Carver's like, puts his hand out. Spear! his face is swelling up. You take 2. Oh no, give me your con save. Excuse me.
Con save.
Yeah.
13.
13. You take 2 points of 2 points of damage, and you are currently poisoned.
Okay.
Now we're up for the next round. He has to throw at disadvantage though. You're still good. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
A poison creature's disadvantage on attack rolls.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go.
So I also have disadvantage.
Yes, you do. As you start to see double vision, you're still feeling strong, but there's just 2 targets now. And there's a lot of more pretty ladies than there were a few seconds ago.
Where'd they all come from?
And pretty men. I mean, they go both ways here.
And Annifirth.
No one.
That's the only face.
Honestly, the whole plan's been pretty
a class
shit
of his
because he's
own.
just been distracting everybody.
I just see a sea of faces.
Yep.
And one face sticks out.
Well, he is the palest face besides the vampire, so everyone here is basically black or brown. So, yeah.
Yes. That's another 21.
God
Oh no! Disadvantage.
Okay.
Disadvantage. Yeah. 8.
Oof.
Disadvantage did me in.
You're off target this time. You nailed dead center of the second target you were seeing.
I was.
And you see everyone being like, "Oh, he's got the poison vision! Let's go!" They're stoked. Did I roll for him
I
already?
throw it and I do a little like.
He does the same thing, and it just goes far off the mark as well. And they're like, burn, 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 as they're bringing you both back, sort of stabilizing you a little bit, them stabilizing Carver a lot.
I'm good. I'm good.
You guys get to the center. Rest of the group, what do you want to do before the next snake bites are administered? Go ahead and roll your con save.
Sure.
Ganu.
Yeah.
I'll
That's
kind of
dirty 20.
I'll make my way towards Annafirth, and I'll kind of be like, are we gonna wait till Ganu's back, or?
That's kind of what I was thinking. I don't really want to start anything with him so far away from us, but
Because I mean, Blaze mentioned that they probably wouldn't do anything in the
Until
crowd.
everyone
They would wait till
leaves.
afterwards.
yeah, so it shouldn't matter anyway, but it's still good to rile the crowd up more if we can before we really make a scene of it.
You see Bailey? There's 2 empty mugs, and she has another one in her hand.
Bailey! I'm gonna go back over to Bailey.
You see her? What? What? This is actually a lot of fun, and there's a lot of really pretty people here.
Told you, just enjoy the moment.
Did you know your brother is actually really pretty?
That's not what we're supposed to be doing.
To be fair, Faye, he is quite an attractive man.
See?
Oh my god.
See? Show you get it. This is nice. You can just see Autumn is smiling, but just dead silent, enjoying the moment.
I'm gonna do just something funny as they're about to go up to the next thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use silent image,
Yeah.
like 30 feet in the sky above us.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna make a shifting nameplate of Ganu, Ganu, Ganu,
To start the
Ganu.
Ganu, you actually hear Autumn when she sees that immediately start shouting, Ganu, Ganu, and you see all these people in the
Start
crowd
shouting
start going,
too.
Ganu, Ganu, and you see as the snakes are about to bite, they stop for a second because they're all about the showboating here, and so they're letting it take on, and majority of the crowd is shouting Ganu at this point, and you see Carver going, no, Carver, Carter, Carlos, snake bite. What'd you roll?
What was it? Total 20.
Okay. Snake bite goes in. You got the old snake in your arm this time around. He's got the other snake now. It goes into his arm. You see him like, and everyone's cheering, burn, burn. And as he's tilting and tilting, he looks to you, Ganu, and he goes, Ganu.
Carver,
He puts his arm out again.
I take it.
Well met.
Well met indeed.
He vomits on you and passes out onto the ground. Just slams, and everyone goes, yeah!
I ignore it and I just start going.
Oh, burn! Everyone starts drinking like crazy. People are
I
going
yell,
I'm specifically stopping Bailey from drinking anymore.
She goes right up, and you stop, and the beer just goes to the side, or the ale. And she's like, oh! And you see all the people just like getting showered. The person underneath that's like on the ground passed out, it all goes towards him, and he's like, oh, thank you, as half of it gets into his mouth. The place is just on fire at the moment, and you see, all right, house takes 10%, rest of the pot, 2, got out!
So
and
I'm gonna,
because you
I'm gonna-
won for your first time, you see another person come up, and this really well dressed, like this person would be the equivalent of a suit, but they don't dress in suits here, but it's their culturally appropriate robes. Comes up to
fancy.
you, slicked back hair, all this jewelry is premier. Big old Blaze Syndicate symbol on his belt, and the real kind. And he comes up to you and he goes, Ganu, as he looks at your vomit all over you. He opens up your hand, vomit and all, and he puts a gemstone in your hand and closes, and he goes, that was something else. Congrats on your first time.
Thank you.
He walks away from you, and you see inside your hand is a ruby gem that looks perfectly cut.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. So
do you want to go grab your pot of winnings? Most of the
well,
shit
before
is still all on the
before I
sides
do
and
that,
everything.
before I do that, I'm going to lean into the crowd and say, "Beer me!"
A person literally throws a beer at your head.
I try to catch it.
Go ahead and give me a dex saving throw. Dex saving throw.
Yeah, dex saving throw.
But it's not the only one coming at your head, and one person's actually handing it to you.
Yeah.
There's
I
just one
just
that was really on it. One was like waiting.
I really want to catch one.
Yep.
I'm okay if they all hit me. That's
Okay.
fine.
Right.
15.
15. Oh, you catch the first one, and everyone's just like, this guy he's in! He's in! He's one of us! They start throwing like beads and shit at you, but you also get pelted by like 4 mugs all in your chest and stuff when they have cleaned the vomit, but you're covered in alcohol.
Yeah, that's actually probably
vomit.
good. Get that out of here.
You got the stone on you, mug in one hand, beads are all being thrown at your feet and everything. Everybody is losing it around you as you catch that, and you have half a cup of ale in your
Yeah, I
hand
was
right
gonna say
now.
probably half of that.
Yep.
But I'll down whatever's left.
Yep.
And then smash it on my head.
Well, as you do that, a man from the crowd comes out and gives you a big old kiss on the lips, and he goes, "Ah!" Just loving it. This beast of a fire ganassi. You can actually feel like the fire of his hair and the heat from his mouth is like actual fires produced from the kiss. And he goes back in the crowd. He's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
And people are like bumping chests and stuff. They're losing.
And then I'll go get my winnings.
Yeah. It's basically grab it yourself, you schmuck, and just pick up a big old cauldron full of coins.
Yeah, I'll take this. This is mine now.
Yeah. So you're huge, so you can carry it with one arm. Do you want to count them?
Not right now.
Okay. So I will put. I have to count
make
them.
a note of how much it is.
Yeah. Let's do that.
At least one.
I don't
DP.
think I could count in this scenario.
You never know.
At least one gold piece.
I'm also not that worried about it.
It's about 50,000 copper.
It's all copper.
Again, who begins lumbering back to the group as everyone just like dying to know who this cat rolls with. So what do you do as you approach a group full of your winnings and vomit and beer?
Guys, look at this. This is awesome.
I turned to Bailey real quick. Do you have a spell that can clean up that vomit? Do you have like prestidigitation or something?
She
It's
prestos.
alright, it's not mine.
He prestos it clean. Or she does, and you see her go, and she's like, "He's really muscular."
I think you've had enough.
I want more. And you now see she has like some local cuisine she's just eating now nonstop. There's at least like 3 or 4 orders here of whatever the hell she ordered. It's like a mix of desserts and a meat, and that don't seem like that's gonna sit well.
Dude, so Bailey is just the basic white chick of the group. Is that what I'm getting out of this?
Well, you guys judged her pretty hard to start, so maybe.
I love it. I honestly love it.
I'm here for it.
I'm glad you guys are coming around to Bailey.
She was hard at first.
Well, you know, people have defense mechanisms.
I would like to kind of post up in an off angle to kind of watch Show's backside.
Yeah.
Probably about like.
Oh, you're trying to watch my
40 feet away.
booty?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm keeping an eye on
You
that
notice
booty.
how fit everyone is in this group and how gorgeous everybody is. It's gonna be tough to keep your hands off each other for the rest of the campaign. That's apparently how to. You know, I run non-sexual campaigns, but freaking Ann Firth had to ruin the whole damn thing for us. So much sexual tension between all the characters, unreal. God, Luke. Last time with Ralia, now this again. Like we can't. We
can't have your characters.
you're gonna have to review the rules again. All right.
Your characters are too attractive.
Your characters cannot be this hot. It's distracting.
Oh, God.
It's distracting.
Unbelievable.
So yeah, I'm taking an off angle. I kind of want to set up like a discreet sniper nest just in case somebody tries to
a
do something.
perception check with advantage.
Perception check with advantage.
Show,
As
what are
Ganyu
you
comes
doing?
back.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to start So I had practiced the Drunken Sailor shanty with him prior.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start singing it, but I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna say, "What do you do with a drunken Ganu?" And just keep going with that and try to get him to play off of it.
Yeah.
And then just feed him beers too.
Yeah.
That was a 13 on the perception.
Try to get the crowd to join.
I am gonna sing along, drink everything, and give everyone high fives.
Oh, by the way, there's a cleric that had to come find you in the crowd, and she cures you of your poison condition.
Awesome.
And she's fucking annoyed with you for walking away. And she leaves without a word. There's a whole new group of 4 people inside there, and they're going on with the festivities.
Actually, I'm going to use my D10 inspiration on that perception roll as well.
You may.
I forget that I have that, and I need to use it before I forget. So that bumps it up to a 19.
Okay. With a 19, you can see a whole bunch of people just approaching the group, mainly surrounding Ganu. Ganu, are you by show? Are you like hanging out with him and everything? What's the what's the plan
show?
here? Yeah, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
we're all hanging.
I'm by Ann.
He's with me, and I was
with
next
Ann
to Joe.
first.
Okay.
So if
Just
if
making
you're
sure.
there,
we're all
yeah.
hanging. It's kind of like everyone's near Bailey, you know?
Yeah, you're all by Bailey. You guys keep losing track of Autumn. Autumn's next to you right now, Matthias.
That's fine.
She can take care of herself.
Oh, it's fine.
I am keeping a close eye on Bailey.
Bailey is keeping a close eye on her drinks, baby.
Hey.
I'm going to ask Autumn to watch my back while I watch Show's back.
She nods. So, what you notice is there's a whole bunch of Fire Ganassi loving Show and Ganu in the group. They're having a blast. People are trying to befriend them, trying to take some of their money, giving them free drinks. All that's going on. People are sneaking in and out of the pot all the time. It's just a pot. You're all drunk. Not really. Some of you are. So it's easy to take, and nobody, like, some people are getting caught. Some of the, like, Fire Ganassi are catching them. Be like, no, don't take his stuff. It's his first time. And they're like, you're right. You're right.
Ganu doesn't care at all.
Yep.
He's not even paying attention.
But you can tell there is a bunch of sourpusses far off, like hidden amongst the crowds as they're just looking in at all this, and almost like a look of disbelief on their faces, these Fire Ganassi. And finally, one of them just sort of leans over and nods, and the other, and he walks away.
I'm following the direction. I'm visibly following the direction they walk away.
He goes towards an alleyway and disappears.
Okay.
That's normal.
But it's a lot of pushing through crowd and stuff. Like with a 19, you had to focus on this. There's a lot of it is obscured in sight because they're just locked in mosh pit amount of people.
Okay.
All right. So the hours are going to be ticking by as 2 or 3 more burns happen before they finally have the final burn that goes into like extra rounds, and then they're finally like, all right, this is the last one, and then they have one more after they say it's the last one, and everyone's like, yeah, and it goes horribly well, and they should have definitely ended it on the last one, but everyone's so drunk and brutal, like the first round's a total dud, and they're like, I guess this guy wins, whatever. Yeah.
I was gonna say, just for clarity,
Yes.
I no longer am looking for any of these Pyrock cultists.
Yes.
I'm spending all my attention keeping Bailey from getting blackout drunk.
She is
Like-
not thrilled. Let me tell you. I'd say the two of you have an ongoing competition of hide the beer, give me the beer.
Yes. Like, she'll like grab a beer and then I'll like telekinetic grab it with my invisible mage hand.
Never angry because she's never realizing it's you doing it. But she keeps trying to get more, and she's like, "Oh, where's my money?" Like people are trying to pickpocket her, but you're putting that shit right back. And the guy's like, "No, you're good. You're not. No, Ganu won. Like." We don't pay for drinks here anyway. You got to stop giving me gold. Like, I took your first 3. Now I feel guilty.
If I see Faith like struggling to try to keep taking these away from her, I'll get a big beer stein of water.
Yeah.
And go up and just say, "You got to try this one. It's fucking crazy."
Make a deception check. With advantage, because she's
Natural 20, 25.
drunk.
Let's go.
She
Good, easy.
She gets it, and she's like, that seems familiar, but I can't. You're right. And she keeps
Exactly.
drinking.
Yeah.
It goes down so easy.
Oh my God, this is exactly goddess above. Let's go. And you see the other Ganassi, let's go!
As I walk back, I just wink at Fate. That's good.
A little sigh of relief.
Okay. All right, so, what are you doing to draw more attention to yourself, Sho? If anything.
I'm gonna start rifling around the prize winnings
Uh-huh.
when it seems like no one's looking.
Okay. Give me a
Do I see him doing
performance check. I mean, you guys are watching him, so yeah.
that? Yeah. Then, as soon as he's doing that, like before he even gets down to the money,
21.
I'm just gonna go up to him and start like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
And so it's on. What are you doing? Going through Ganu's winnings there,
You think
Sho.
you can just take his winnings? He just won the first burn for the first time in his life. He just tried it. Are you serious? What are you doing here, you rockin' ass? Don't even talk. I don't want to hear it. Just stop. Get out of here. Nobody wants to see you in here.
You see a bunch of the Fire Ganassi leaning in and being like, whoa, 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 whoa. And all of a sudden, they look over to Ganu's like, hey, have you ever been stolen from before? Like, have people stole things from you?
Yes.
Hey! What are you doing? As they all start doubling down, yelling at Sho, like, oh, main man here, what? And somewhere out in the universe, at the use of main man, there's a strange excitement through the air that no one can quite
Boy.
place. But continue.
The main man.
Tellius in a pocket dimension. What the hell was that? As is the belt of main man on. All right, so
Ingles.
Oh,
These winnings are for the group. What do you mean? Garner's one of us.
Hey, but he just won the first thing. You can't just take it from him. I mean, come on. Have some
Why not?
respect for him.
We have to divvy it up.
Anybody over here, come on.
you,
This rock ganassi, anybody, earth ganassi, whatever it
you
is.
see a bunch from being like, hey, and you see Matthias, the guy from earlier, jumps at this opportunity, comes over, and he just starts shoving Sho over, and he's like, hey, come on now. Get out of his stuff. Not like I expect better than your type.
What's that supposed to mean?
Exactly what it's supposed to mean, as he looks right at you and looks at Aaron Firth, gives like a nod of approval.
I'm
He's
gonna
trying-
get myself like a little bit closer, and I'm gonna use my invisible mage hand to throw a cup of beer, a mug of beer at the guy who started hassling him, but make it look like Sho slapped it off the table.
Yeah,
Performance.
that's typical rock nasty behavior.
A deception check.
I'm going to indicate to Autumn, like, that's our guy.
She
And
nods.
I'm going to. I'm readying an action to shoot him in his Achilles tendon if he tries
That's
to get
a
violent.
13 deception.
As that happens and he hits, you see he gets real mad at first, and he's like, he's gonna say something, but then you see he stops. And he's like, "Know your place." As he tries to shove you over, but you're also huge, though he's huge as well.
Before he shoves him,
yeah.
I take my shield out and I block it and I just knock him to the ground, shove him to the ground.
Sure, go ahead and make a
Strength.
strength check.
Athletics.
Yeah. Oh, you knock him to the ground. You don't have to roll unless you get a 1.
18.
Yeah, he goes hard on his ass because he's not paying attention to you, and he thought you were on his side.
Mm.
What a twist.
You see all the other fire grenades go, ow! As he gets his feet knocked out from under him, basically. And he hits the ground hard, and he gets the wind knocked out of him a bit.
I just like throw my hands up and I'm like trying to rile everybody up. Ah!
And they're like, ah!
And
They
I'm
just,
keeping him on the ground.
Riot!
Well,
Riot!
a whole bunch of people just start punching each other. You just start a brawl.
Perfect.
People are just, and at that, everyone's like, oh, it's that time. The burn's over. People start getting dissipating as people start to get the knives out, and you see the clerics shooting fireballs up into the air going, no, as they don't want any people
was
killing
spray
each other. As you see them like, ow, no, not fair. And people start dispersing as others are just ignoring it. People are still wildly making out in the middle of the street as the fire's burning them, and they don't care. They're young, and it's college time, baby.
Spring break!
Yeah, basically. God, I feel like I missed out on a whole portion of my life. I've lived none of this. I feel I've never wanted to go to one of these, yet I feel incredibly jealous of this fantasy rave. This is ridiculous. I am the most shut in. Like this. This has never been appealing to me in my life until just this moment. Never once. Jeez, this game is lies. Anyway,
there's still time, Reed.
No,
Still go.
Okay, Logan. There's still time. There's still time. All right. Anyway, what are we doing? Fighting. Everyone's fighting right now. All right.
We'll probably start leaving as the brawl comes out.
All right.
As once everybody's sufficiently distracted, I just like want to grab him by the collar and make sure he can't move.
He's trying to get away from you, so grapple contest now.
Athletics or acrobatics.
Okay.
Whatever's better for him.
Okay.
Ooh, that's bad. But I do have a D10, so.
Ooh, let's hear it.
What is that one? That's an 8, so 16.
Oh, 17, dude. You have him real close. And there's a struggle, and you see him like, dude, get off me, man. Get off me. And you're holding on to him, and finally he just slips. And he gives a real, like, something's off. He can clearly see something weird's going on. And he turns to go away. Matthias, you said you had something going.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot him in the kneecap.
Go ahead and make it take an attack roll.
I thought it was the Achilles heel.
I changed my mind. Oh, it's a bad.
Wait,
It's a
are we the
bad, though.
kneecappers again?
Back, boys, we're back.
No.
No.
Yeah, it's not good. It's a 9.
All right. Okay. You completely miss and shoot another fire ganassi that's in the brawls right now, and you see him go like, "Ow! Oh! Who's showing arrows?" Go make a stealth check for me, Matthias.
Yep.
My lord.
Oh no, it's a 10.
It's falling apart.
He turns around. The hell, halfling! As he rips the arrow out, and he's just like, ah! Beelines.
You ever been hit by an arrow before?
He beelines for you and tackles you to the ground.
Oh.
As he hits you to the ground, he starts punching the shit out of Matthias.
All right, I'm gonna attempt to wiggle my way out of this.
Go ahead and make an athletics grappling contest again.
Can I do acrobatics?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's sloppy drunk, and that's a 3, so I'm pretty sure your
Okay,
modifier's
so, yeah.
high enough. As you get out, and he starts punching the ground, he's like, and he rolls over, he's like, whatever. Oh, ow. And he's just now taking it on the ground.
Okay.
What I did roll for before, though, as he's running away, Anfrith, what were you doing, like, as he was running away from you?
Can I take an opportunity attack?
Okay, before you do that, because it was the grapple, so you had you got away, so it's not really opportunity attack anymore.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is he stops like stiff, as like 2 or 3 strides, and he just stops stiff from your angle. What do you do?
I look at Sho, and then I just kind of say, basically, come on. And I'll walk up to him if he's not moving.
And people are dissipating. As you come around, you now see Autumn has her dagger right in his chest.
Oh.
Fuck.
There you go.
And you see the guy
That's
like... and she goes, am I supposed to leave the knife in or take it out? Which is safer?
Shit! She's so cool!
You see the fire ganassi go, I think you leave it in so it doesn't cause... She rips it out immediately. Ah! Oh, blood goes all over the ground. Nobody can see this shit happening right now. It's the dispersion of the mob fight that's happening. See him go, oh, you bitch, as he goes to hit her. What are you guys doing?
I'm running up there.
Yeah, you're there
point.
now. You got to see that unfold. Yep. He's gonna go make an attack roll against Autumn. That's gonna hit unarmed attack. He'll do some damage. He smacks her right across the face.
Use my reaction to block it with my shield.
Okay.
It's gonna be.
What do you got?
It's 3 minimum damage that I'm blocking.
Okay, because he rolled a really high. He rolled 17 plus his unarmored attack.
He reduces the damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Then it's reduced to nothing.
So I reduce it by 6. Yeah.
Nothing. So he smacks right into the shield and he goes, ah! And you just see her give a small smirk as the group sort of comes around on him, and you see the guy like, the hell is this all about? What do you want? Yes, he's really fucking bleeding. He just got stabbed pretty bad.
What were you so excited about to attack Show here?
I wouldn't call it excited. As he is, he feels
You looked
surrounded.
quite bent on it.
I got nothing to say to you.
I think you might.
Make an intimidation check.
I'm gonna try and indicate Faith. It's probably time to give the signal. We got our guy.
15.
15. Okay. Oh, 16. Natural 16. You see him look at you and it goes, he just spits right in your face.
I'm gonna cast Silent Image,
Okay.
60 feet in the sky above us,
Mm-hmm.
and it is just a 15-foot symbol, flaming symbol of Pyrock.
At that, you guys in the crowd, knives come up behind the rest of you guys as one of you show in particular, you're here and you're saying, we told you not to make a scene. They don't have their Pyrock masks on or anything, but it's different sort of people in this crowd now. You sort of forced their hand early, and they are all up and about to give you the old stabby. We have 3 minutes left, so we're not going to do initiative. We're not going to do it because you did this early enough that as the thing's dispelling and people and that symbol goes up in the air and the guy is bleeding out and the crowd is now dissipated enough, but now it's obvious, like the people that are still at the event, the clerics, the merchants and everything, and it's just you guys alone. The circle, people not moving, they're all real close, so you can't see the knives at everybody's backs and everybody's frozen. And as the person's next to you, Faith, the one with the knife to you goes, whatever you're doing, stop. Stop that right now. What are you doing? She has a knife right to your back. You can feel it already starting to pierce through your skin. It is a very new experience for you.
I am going to look him at, like, kind of slowly turn so that I'm face to face with him. And I'm gonna do like a quick minor illusion to make my face just look really like monstrous, like if I were like a shape changer, kind of like vampire teeth, really gray skin, and try to like freak him out for a moment.
Go ahead and make a intimidation check with advantage.
Let's see. I'm gonna sweeten the deal and make it even. Oh, that's gone.
Goodbye, dice.
So that is gonna be a 28 using the
There you go.
inspiration from this morning.
All right. So the face comes and you find something deep inside you. Something you glimpsed at when you were coming in and out of reality during that time, that very traumatic event you experienced. And in that moment, you just channel whatever underwater thinking of demons that you could. And that comes out and the person just completely, he's like, what the fuck are you lot?
And then I'm gonna grab Bailey's hand and just try to drag her and book it.
Well, before you have a chance to do that, as you're like about to turn, you see one of the merchants is like pedaling away and getting out as fast as possible. And as that cart behind us, the other guy's like, oh, and backing up, and he goes to turn. The cart moves, and you just see Ala Blaze there grab the guy's head, and you see the person go. And you see fire come out of the guy's hand all over the dude's face. He has these gauntlets on, and you see this like kink and like you hear a big like M1 grand ping as something comes off the gauntlet, and he just crushes the guy's skull, and he goes,
God.
"Very good, Faith. Very good." And all of a sudden, you see all the other people go. At that, where Blaze is now here, they just start trying to run. And you see Bailey going, and you see she takes a scroll out, and she goes and casts a spell off the scroll at one of the ones running away. The one in the center tries to push past Anfert, since you were the one engaged with him. What are you trying to do? Are you going to try and
just
keep him there?
Just tripping him, yeah. Just
Okay.
like, I guess, grapple him, yeah.
Go ahead and do another grapple check for me. The other ones, all of you guys have a person on you at this time. What are you doing? Are you attacking them? Are you trying to grapple them? As they're
I'm
all
gonna
trying
stab
to
him in the
disperse?
dick.
Okay, go ahead and make a stab in the dick attack roll.
Before I grapple him, though, I'm going to use my hex on him.
Okay,
Good.
you got it.
Yeah.
That's a 22.
It is a 22. You stab him in the dick.
Hell yeah.
With
He ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
And I'm going to pick dex checks to
Yep.
have disadvantage for him.
Okay. Well, this is still athletics or acrobatics.
Athletics or acrobatics.
It would, but he would
would
be
affect the
disadvantage if he used acrobatics checks.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, then natural one. He goes to get
was
away,
there one-
and he just collapses to the ground from the blood, and you just grab from the stab wound.
Was there one on me as well?
Yeah, every one of you.
Okay.
Yep.
Can I use a bonus action to use Wild Shape
Yeah.
into the type of snake that was just at the event?
Absolutely.
And I am going to constrict, wrap around him, and restrain him.
Absolutely. You go around that. Go ahead and give me again the grapples and athletics against him, as he's also scared. He's like, oh, what are these people? So I got that. Faith, your guy was taken care of. You did your thing. Show, your guy. Matthias, you just stab the dude in the dick, and he just goes both to the ground to the knees and goes, "Oh, you bitch!" As he's now eye level with you, as he's gone to the knees.
I'm just gonna take a bit of like, well, what kind of food did they have at this event first?
All sorts of natural cultural stuff to the fire ganassi, so
Anything-
it's lots of hot, spicy foods that are on fire for display.
Anything buttery?
I don't know about buttery.
That's okay.
That's a hard sell for fire ganassi.
Just curious.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'll take a bit of pork from one of my ration packs, assuming there's like jerky or something in there.
Sure.
Cool. And I'll just like scatter that on the ground, and it'll between me and my foe,
Okay.
and the ground just gets exceedingly like slick and greasy and like a 10-foot square in that point. And I'm just gonna try to like make my way out of that space.
Okay. So he's got to make a saving throw.
He doesn't have to. I guess it's when he enters or ends his turn there.
He's at your knife to your back, so that's. They
Okay.
all came up to all of you with a knife, so he's got to make that throw. So it's a dex check.
Yeah.
Natural one.
Yeah, he falls prone, and I'm just gonna walk away.
Yep. So he could smooth as butter, I guess. Show you turn
Yes.
around with a wave of your hand. With one hand, all in one slick motion, you throw the pork rations
Slick,
around.
nice.
One hand, not even looking. I'm not even the time of day. This guy's got a knife on you, and you're like, I'm not. I don't need to look at you. You're not worth my time. And he's just offended by it and immediately slips to the ground. He's like, oh. At that, Blaze is still making his way towards the group. You got one on lockdown. Blaze goes and grabs the one's head that is by you, Matthias, and you see another. The entire head goes fire, and you see, and he just crushes that head as well, and the body goes to the side, and he's not even looking. Big grin on his face as he's walking towards the other ones. You can see the guy on the ground just doesn't even notice Blaze at this from all the slipping and sliding. The one with Ganu on the constructor, you see him go, "Oh dear God! Oh dear God!"
So
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do a weapon attack, which I got a
Go ahead.
16.
What kind of weapon attack? You're biting him.
It just says constrict melee weapon attack +4 to hit.
Okay.
He's constricting tighter.
I'm
Yes.
constricting
Okay. You
him,
just
but
said a
that's
melee
the
weapon,
ability.
like a. I
Yeah.
was just like, you're not using your great sword.
I'm not.
Right?
It's just what it says under constrict. It
Okay.
says +4 to hit.
Yes, I got you. Cool.
So,
Yeah, no, you're hitting. So he is completely like
So he
immobilized. Yep.
He takes 10 damage.
Oh,
10 blood.
you're intent. Okay.
No, that's what happens.
yes.
He takes 1d8 +2. So
yes,
he takes,
excellent.
He takes 10 bludgeoning damage.
He is on death's door as close as it gets. He is.
And he is not only grappled, but he is restrained.
You bet.
Until he breaks it.
He was screaming. He can't scream anymore from the
No.
ribs you just cracked. He
No,
is
he
just
can't.
trying not to move. Ala Blaze is just slowly and methodically coming forward. The butter, he steps right in it without a problem, and the guy's finally like starting to get to his feet, and he looks up and he just puts his hand, same thing, explosion of fire on the guy's head. He goes limp, and then he just crushes the skull and pushes the body back as he finally gets up to you, Anfirth, and he goes, "What do we have here, Anfirth?"
Seems like we have exactly what we've been looking for.
A big smile as the other guy goes, and he tries to go bite, and he puts his hand right in his mouth, and you see with the other hand he starts clawing the guy's mouth open, and he just rips out a tooth, and you see the guy just screams from it, and he's like, "Might have been this one." Rips out another tooth, and the guy's like, oh, you got it the first time. Rips out another tooth, and he goes and smacks the side where he took 2 teeth out, and the guy's like, ugh, bleeding, bloody. You see the magical person who did the sending earlier come over and gives a little heal spell onto him, while another one of the people puts shackles on him. Another one comes over to your guy and starts putting shackles on them. And you see Ala Blaze look out toward the area and goes, "The clock is on now. Bye-bye." To no one in particular. He's just shouting that out to hopefully whoever's watching. And he goes, "Okay, come with me. You sleep at my place tonight. So nothing, no chance at retaliation. You'll be gone in the morning." And as he gathers up your group and you guys take your 2 hostages, that is where we will end tonight's session of D&D.
Oh boy.
Oh, Blaze is a freaking nut.